from experience, I know that it sucks when your superstar player goes down and it looks like they're out for a year. But I can help you. I can tell you how to maneuver this situation.
Yeah.
I've been there before.
I think that'd be helpful.
That'd be really nice. Okay, can you help him?
I'm asking you, would you like to receive my help?
Yes.
Sure.
So this is how you do it. You got to just punt next
put your
year.
headphones back on.
He took off the headphones.
You don't get to say sure. Your friend is trying to help you.
On today's Part of My Take, we have an awesome show for everyone. We got a lot to talk about. We are going to start on Zoom talking about Tuesday night's NBA playoff games. And then we're back in studio. We're going to talk about the Celtics Knicks, Jayson Tatum's unfortunate injury, get our thoughts from Hank. We are going to talk about the NBA lottery, which we attended, and the Mavs get the first pick. Hot seat, cool throne. Then we have our guy Keith Yandle on to talk some playoff hockey. Then we have a very great interview with Pablo Torre. He did some investigative work on the Jordon Hudson, Bill Belichick relationship. Great interview. Get into that. And then we finish with Guys on Chicks. It's a packed show, and it's brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Want to make your playoff experience even more intense? Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30 points, 40, or more? It's your call. Ready to place your first bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Lock in your bets, and let's make this playoff run unforgettable. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by DraftKings. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Today is Wednesday, May 14th, and the Indiana Pacers are in the Eastern Conference Finals. They dismantle the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5. Pacer basketball, PFT. That's a good fucking team.
It's fun. It's fun. I felt like they were going to come back even when they were down early. Like, this is a team that does not quit. And the Cavs, yeah, they were hobbled. They've got excuses. That's good for the Cavs. Like, at least you can point to injuries and stuff. Be like, yeah, well, we weren't at full speed. But the Pacers did look good, and they stuck it in ESPN's face.
Yep.
This is a trend that we're seeing now. Because remember in the first round, I think it was 10-0. The ESPN experts picked the Lakers over the Wolves. I think it was 13-0. ESPN experts picked the Cavs over the Pacers. And I think it's 13-1 Celtics over the Knicks as well. So there's a lot. There's a lot going on right now at ESPN.
And hand up, I think this whole show had the Cavs. This whole show had the Celtics, which we're going to get to. I know a lot of people are probably tuning in for that. When we get back in studio, we will get to. I saw it. Miles Turner tweeted out after the game, all the experts that picked the Cavs. Miles Turner was incredible this series. He was incredible tonight. He hit the dagger shot. I think he had 5 blocks. Halliburton was awesome. Playoff Nembhard is a real thing. They're just a fun team. They play with so much pace. They wear you out. Rick Carlisle was even Rick Carlisle might be the most underrated coach in the NBA. He was very gracious in defeat or in victory, being like, the Cavs had an incredible season. They just ran into a hot team like us. We're playing great ball right now, and that's a fact. I think so. The excuse thing for the Cavs, they obviously had some injuries. Darius Garland, Mobley, Donovan Mitchell gets banged up a little. I still think that this is a really like demoralizing, disgusting way to go out for a team that won 64 games this year. That's the second most wins in Cleveland Cavaliers franchise. To go out in 5 games, and especially the way game 4 happened, I think you got to run it back if you're the Cavs, but man, that's as demoralizing as it gets to go out that way. Like they just didn't put up a fight other than, Donovan Mitchell having heroic moments. And yeah, you could turn to game 2 and be like, hey, if they could inbound the ball, they could have had, 2 wins and the series could still be going on. But that's what the Pacers make clutch shots, big moments, run fast. They have it all. And if you're a Cavs fan, I think this is as like dark as it's been for a long time. And I'll say this, PFT, LeBron, he's going to opt out. He's going to opt out. Could he end his career in Cleveland? Could he fix everything?
I don't think he's opting out. But it's fun.
He might opt out to take less money, but that would be fun if he did the opt out and we had like a day or two of being like Cavs.
It would be
home
fun.
One last time.
It would be fun. It is demoralizing, you're right, because last year felt like the year where they learned how to lose.
Right.
Like last year they were too young.
And they were injured last year.
Team on the rise. They were injured last year, but that felt like for most Cavs fans, it's like, okay, let's focus on next season. That's when we can put it all together. They had a great season. So the expectations were super, super high for them. And yeah, this is going to be one that takes a while to get over. But it is nice to have that built-in excuse to be like, yeah, we were injured. That helps you get through the dark days. Yeah,
and they did win 64 games. That's not, an easy task. And but you just can't go out if you win 64 games, you gotta get to at least the conference finals, I feel like. And and you can't go out this way unless it's like someone is out for the entire playoffs. But like it's tough for the Cavs. The Pacers are fucking good. The Pacers are good. And it's crazy because now who knows how the Celtics Knicks will finish, but obviously the Celtics are on the ropes. The Knicks could be hosting an Eastern Conference final. And we remember last year, all the ESPN stuff where they just didn't mention the Pacers in that series against the Knicks.
Oh yeah, Stephen A. Smith doing the long walk in.
So I like it. The Hicks versus the Knicks, and it's like the Pacers they have that chip on their shoulder. And the only complaint I have about the Pacers in this run, because they are so much fun to watch, is they got to figure out the jerseys. That's it. That's the only thing I'll throw out there. And I'll keep saying it. They look like the Heat at home, but other than that, Halliburton has risen a different, like an extra level. All the other guys are playing big time moments and making big time shots. They pass the ball so well. It feels like everyone's always getting good looks. And I'm happy for Miles Turner because going into the series, you're like, oh, Jared Allen versus Miles Turner or Evan Mobley versus Miles Turner. He's still good, and he feels like he's been in the league forever. How long has he been in the league?
I'm not sure, but I saw the look on Hank's face. I don't want to bury the Celtics just yet. Hank got a little bit upset with the presumptive Knicks discussion, but
he's been in the league for 10 years.
You got to think about it, Hank. That's our job. We got to look ahead sometimes. And right now it's 3-1. So my only thing is, and we did find out last night that there's some people in the NBA front office that do listen to Part of My Take. So I'll make this case one last time. Free John Halliburton.
Yes.
Free Halliburton's dad.
Yes.
He did his time. He sat out. He missed the home games. This is Indiana basketball. This is as a state that has Hoosiers. Did they shun Dennis Hopper and Hoosiers?
They got to bring him back. They bring him back for the Knicks.
They ended up embracing him. And they made him an assistant coach. He totally redeemed himself. You got to let the guy's dad be there at the games.
Yeah. Hank, I know we're going to talk about the Celtics Knicks, and we taped that portion earlier in the day, and we talked about Jerry O'Connell. Jerry O'Connell has already gone on to the Pacers.
Yeah, he's moved on.
Mr. Bing Bong has moved on to the Pacers. Are you going to be using this as fuel for the Celtics?
Yeah, I mean, it's the playoffs. You should never look ahead like that. It's still game by game. Anyone can come back, and he's going to learn that the hard way.
That's what Hank's always said. Mr. Game by game.
Mr. Game by game. Don't look ahead. Do not look ahead. Pacers are good. Do the Pacers scare you a little, Hank?
Pacers are good. They're a good team.
They scare you.
They're a good team. It would be a tough matchup if we got there. I would be honored with the opportunity.
Yeah.
There you go.
But we got to
There
beat
go.
New York first. That's
You got to
plain
beat
and
New York.
simple.
Jerry's little man bun that he's got going right now is elite too. I didn't know he was capable of that. I didn't know he had that shot in his bag, but yeah, he pulls it off.
I mean, the hat that I gave him was like a really nice hat in good condition, and he's just like, I don't know, he's like chewing it.
He's doing some Fleming. He's Fleminging the hat. But yeah, I'm happy for the Pacers. I'm happy for Pacers fans. It will be fun to watch whoever it is they play in the next round. There you go, Hank. How much they shun them and pretend that the Pacers aren't involved in the series. We will, on this podcast, be repping the Pacers and saying the Pacers deserve more credit throughout the entire series. If ESPN, 100%. If they have Stephen A. Smith doing speeches and tunnel walks, we'll do a tunnel walk. We'll do a speech. We'll represent for the smaller markets.
We might get a little McAfee, Stephen A. Smith head-to-head.
Oh, that would be good.
That? Some bad blood.
That will be good. That will be good. I don't have Stephen A. Smith's phone number. We know Pat McAfee, so the choice is easy. Mm-hmm. We'll have our sword. Take our sword in this battle. All right, and then we had an awesome game in the second game. The Thunder and Nuggets. It felt like the Nuggets were going to win that game, and then they just could not make a shot in the fourth quarter. It was crazy. Like they just kept. I mean, we had the Russ air ball. They just couldn't find offense, and the Thunder. That felt like one of those. You know how on Friday night they lose that OT game, and it was like, ooh, the Nuggets just know how to win these games. Feels like the Thunder are starting to get up to speed, where it's like these crunch time, big time moments. Game fives are always important, especially when it's 2-2, and the Thunder kind of grew up a little bit tonight.
I was going back and forth because it felt like it was a Jamal Murray game where Jamal Murray was giving you enough as the number 2 option, where the Nuggets usually win those sorts of games. But then the fourth quarter, he just kind of disappeared and he quit making his shots. It basically became like, okay, pick and roll at the top of the key, and then Jokic do something magical. And he is capable of doing magic shit. Like, there's sometimes even when he gets tired, he plays like a dad just dominating in pool basketball.
Right.
Just dude's hanging off him, spinning around, using the glass, and it felt like that was going to be the story of this game, but he didn't have enough help.
It was basically like which help showed up, because SGA had, his 30, 31. Jokic was just bounced back from his slew of like a subpar games with 44, and it just happens that the Thunder were able to make the big shots from the other guys, like even Lou Dort, who couldn't hit a 3 to start the series or these playoffs, hit some big shots. Caruso was everywhere as always. And so, it felt like the rest of the Thunder stepped up in a way that the Nuggets weren't able to find someone, because it was just Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic scoring. Like they didn't get much from anyone else. And you could see it at the end when they just had no options and no one could hit a shot for them. And they were just putting like basically the entire defense on Jokic and being like, anyone else hit a shot and we can live with it. And they couldn't hit a shot. Yeah.
Dort went back to back to back with 3-pointers.
I love when he does that.
And then the hustle play, run out of bounds. I love watching that guy play.
He has been bad. Like he's had moments where he's played himself off the court. Like they have not been able to use him because his shooting has like the way that the Thunder are set up. Like Lou Dort plays defense and he's going to get some open looks. He's got to hit those open looks. I think he was shooting like 29% before tonight, and then tonight he started hitting those big threes, and that's a big difference for their offense.
I want to see more of the series. I hope it goes 7, because
I agree.
This has been a really fun one to watch. And the others, it's like, kind of fast forwarding, looking forward to getting to the next round. This one, I love this matchup. I wish that they could play 20 more times.
Yeah, I need a game 7. What's that look, Hank?
Hank's mad.
You mad about something?
I disagree. I mean, we've been talking about the Celtics Knicks series more than any other one. I don't understand fast forwarding.
Well, that's because you're a big Celtics fan.
We were talking about, but we want this series to go 7. Is what he's saying.
Yeah, I want more.
We're just fast forwarding through these other series. Could care less.
Yeah, the Celtics were dominating.
I didn't think that was appropriate.
Okay.
Maybe we need an appropriate meter.
No, you asked what my face was. I can't.
Yeah.
I just was reacting.
You can't hide your face.
No.
Do you think you should start doing the show in a ski mask?
No, I don't. I feel how I feel.
Yeah.
PFT knows what
No, I
he's doing.
appreciate
It's not
that.
nice.
Yeah.
It's not nice. It's not nice.
I'm sorry for being not
PFT,
nice.
it's not nice.
I'm
Please
sorry
be
that I'm
nice.
not being
Please
nice.
be nicer.
I'm gonna be nicer to Hank specifically in the future.
That's nice.
You know what else is nice? I
Yeah.
have something nice. It's nice that we don't have to do all the inside the NBA tributes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was the big conversation last year. It's like, oh no, we're gonna be losing these guys in a year, and now it's like, okay, well, they're coming back next year.
yeah.
So that's cool. We don't have to deal with that loss too.
Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
Michael
Michael
Jordan.
Jordan's going to be, dude. If so, there was news. I think it was Tuesday morning, or no, sorry, Monday morning. I can't get my days straight. That MJ is doing, he's doing Peacock, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna be on the
Yeah.
Peacock.
He's going to
desk.
be an occasional contributor, so not all the time, but he's gonna parachute in.
If MJ has to give picks, he
You-
has to
you
give
think?
picks. If he, but
sure.
I, you know, he won't. They won't let him, but he has to.
I think he might.
I would
weasel
love
it in there.
I would love if he not only gave picks, but he also he's like, all right, we're gonna go to MJ's picks tonight, and he's like, all right, I got the Knicks, I got the Nuggets, and here's what you're gonna want to do if you have 14 and the dealer's showing 8. Like he gives tips on blackjack too.
NASCAR. I want MJ just unloading the clip. I think. I mean, if we're being honest, why do you think MJ is doing this? I think he probably had the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, right? And
He
he's
might
like,
have-
damn it, I got to get a job.
I think he also this is a part. Legacy is obviously important, and being on TV is important. He doesn't do media at all. So I think being in the conversation, you see Gretzky out there, obviously, Charles Barkley had an incredible NBA career. He is well known far past his compared to some of the guys he played with. He's well known so much farther past that because of what he's done with inside the NBA.
So I actually think that's probably the biggest reason why Jordan's doing this.
Yeah.
Is because he wants to come back and dominate Chuck. He's sick of Chuck. And he got mad at Chuck a couple of years ago when Barkley was saying that MJ stunk as a GM, which is true. I mean, just objectively.
It is.
As an analyst. And then I think Jordan got real mad about that. And he sees these guys that used to dominate in basketball on TV. And he's like, fuck that. I'm going to come on TV and just make their life hell again.
I need all of the picks, and I need instead of a race to the screen, maybe they have wiener dogs racing in between commercials.
Roulette table.
Just roulette. What if his table is just a roulette table? I need all of it. Just it's just MJ's gambling hour. That would be incredible TV.
I kind of look at MJ on TV like I felt about Brady coming to TV. Like it's almost beneath him.
That's what
to have
I'm
Michael
saying.
Jordan on TV talking to us. It's like we don't deserve to hear from Michael Jordan. Like it's weird having that.
It's
He's also the richest. He's like the richest guy alive. Like he's so rich.
It's Jeter doing the Fox. It's Brady doing it. There's a bubble to the aura that then when you see them on TV and he'll say something wrong or say something stupid and that'll become a viral clip and you're like, ooh, what's this?
I think I hope he gets on Twitter. He'll never do it. He'll never do that. Like Michael Jordan doesn't. He doesn't.
I hope
talk
he gets
to us.
into meme coins.
Oh, for sure. For sure. He and Reggie Miller might actually get into a fight on the air.
It will be great too because he can just he has the ultimate trump card on every. I hope he just shows up in his rings sometimes, just to
I'm
be
sure he will.
yeah.
They should let him smoke a cigar inside the studio.
Yeah,
do
drink
whatever
tequila.
he wants.
Yeah. Have the host. Who's hosting that show? Do we know?
I'm not sure. Maybe Tirico.
Okay, Tirico's dressed up like a blackjack dealer, and they're just playing hands during the show.
Yeah,
just keep them engaged.
I'm in. I'm
awesome.
interested to see what happens, but it's like with Brady. It's like with Gretzky. Kind of, it's shocking to see the greatest of all time in any sport talking to you and commentating on the games.
Yeah, but the one thing with MJ is I feel like he will have the opportunity to be a great storyteller that we don't hear often because again he's not done media for so long outside of The Last Dance. He has that ability. He could tell stories that you're I've you know what I mean. I've never heard this story. I've never heard this angle of this story. Whereas some of the guys who are like very accessible, you kind of have heard them all and you've gone through them all. So he does have that like wow factor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great move by NBC.
Yeah.
Great move.
Yeah. Can I do one quick baseball thing?
Yep.
Shout out Javi Baez, because I'll say this right now. I think the Detroit Tigers are going to win the AL. I don't know if they can win the World Series. There's some good teams in the NL. Javi Baez he basically was a joke for the Tigers the last few years. There would always be these mashups of him striking out all the time. In the last 34 games, he's hitting .319, 5 home runs, 27 RBIs. Tonight he hit 2 home runs, including a walk-off 3-run homer. I'm happy for my guy Javi. It's like a complete. He was, if you ask any Tiger fan, they did not like Javi Baez, and he's hopefully this sustains. But in the last month, it's like he's recaptured something and come back to the world as what the electrifying Javi Baez was.
Yeah, he's very fun to watch when he's playing well. When he's not playing well, it's very sad.
Yeah. So I just, it's cool to see Javi doing well.
Yep.
Yeah. What were you say? No, I was just saying Justin Turner had a walk-off hit tonight, which was nice because we needed him to do something. Cubs are our guy Kyle Stowers, who we did an interview with. A couple of the Marlins will release next week. He hit his 8th home run of this year. Dingers only league. He's on the prospect list.
He is for sure. Are the Cubs the kind of team that would give an extension midseason?
Okay. So PFT, there has been conflicting reports. And one of the reports, Jesse Rogers, who does a really good job locally in Chicago, has reported they have not talked about an extension. David Kaplan, who also does a good job, who I know both these guys are very good guys. He said the Cubs are wrapping their head around what an extension would look like, which means they haven't done shit.
What does that mean?
It means nothing.
They own a baseball team. That's kind of like their only real job is to wrap their heads around giving contracts.
I think it's Tom Ricketts literally looking in the mirror every morning being like, you can do this, dude. You have a lot of money. But then he doesn't do it. But no, I don't. I think Kyle Tucker, unfortunately, will become a free agent, and the Dodgers have already put dibs on him. So that's going to suck.
Yeah, that's tough. Just do an extension midseason. Just break
the agree.
Rules.
Do it now. I do think there's something to be said when you're negotiating in all of sports. You can get a little bit of a discount doing an extension in season because that is money in hand. It's not going to be a big discount, but you can, and you're the only team that can negotiate with him. You will not have that ability once he's a free agent. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. The guy's fucking 28 years old. He's everything you want in like a superstar player. And he's all right. People are going to get at me for the superstar thing. Superstar is a little different in baseball. He's a very, very good baseball player. He's everything you want in a very, very good baseball player. Sign him right now.
I like that. I know you hate the superstar conversation, but now I'm thinking, how many superstars are there in baseball right now?
I think baseball superstars are just different because there's no household names. I don't do the same thing. Shohei is, yeah. But I'm saying I don't do the same household name thing with the NBA. There's 20 superstar players in MLB. I know this makes no sense. People will say that I'm just changing the rules. I get it. I totally agree. It makes no sense in my head. But superstar in baseball, I throw it around a lot more willy-nilly, knowing that half of the guys no one will have heard of if they don't play in the market you live in.
I think you could say he's our superstar.
Yeah.
But I think with baseball there's probably
it's just Shohei.
There's probably fewer. There's probably 3 superstars.
Yeah. What was that? Bryce Harper?
World Series champion Bryce Harper. Oh wait, no.
If we're talking about
Shohei,
Bryce Harper.
Shohei, Bryce Harper, Soto, Aaron Judge. That feels right. Kyle Tucker's a star, not a superstar. I've corrected myself. That feels good.
Throw Lindor in there.
I don't think we're going to throw Lindor in there.
No,
let's not throw Lindor in there. Let's not. You already got one Met in there. Let's not throw Lindor in there.
Lindor's so good. Shit on the Phillies last year.
Schwarber, maybe. Oh, Schwarber, by the way, could he be the MVP? Should we start that conversation?
He's playing well.
Just let listen, we don't have any bias here, but should we start that conversation?
We can have the conversation.
Home runs
We can be the ones who start it.
MLB.
Yeah.
Everyone says it.
Yeah, MLB, like any writers listening right now have a vote. Start looking at Schwarber.
Just think
start
about like
taking a
legendary
look.
MLB people and people, household names. It's mostly like home run hitters.
Yeah,
That's true.
Kyle Schwarber hits home runs. Okay, should we kick it to ourselves? What everyone's waiting for?
Any hockey?
Well, we're going to talk about it with Yans, but the Stars won again.
Yeah.
But we do get into an extended hockey talk with Yans, so we are going to talk hockey today.
The Stars look great. And I found myself during the game being like, good for Dallas fans, which I have to beat out of my system. I have to beat that out of my system because they got the number 1 pick
in both drafts.
Listen, originally I was thinking like I will feel good for Dallas fans until football season starts, whenever anything good happens to them, because I did feel bad about the Luka thing. But now after you got the number 1 pick, I think they lose all the sympathy.
100%. They're clean and even. It's over. Cooper Flagg is going to be a star. It's clean and done. You're good. You actually, I don't want to say you could make the case that you upgraded, but we don't know what Cooper Flagg could be. But he is obviously younger and is in better shape than Luka. Like there's a chance you could have upgraded. There's a chance you could have ended this season after the lottery's all said and done in a better spot than you were in January.
Yep.
So, yeah, we don't feel bad anymore. But, yeah, good for the Stars. They're awesome. But, yeah, we're going to talk to Yans. We have Pablo Torre. Really fun interview with him. And let's kick it to ourselves in studio where we talk Celtics, Knicks, and everything else that's going on. Before we get back in studio, Stella Blue. This weather's heating up, so stay cool with Stella Blue Cold Brew. Introducing our newest cold brew variety, Ms. Peaches Blend. 100% Colombian, 100% delicious. And the best part, every purchase helps homeless pets find their forever homes. Make better, fresher cold brew at home in just 3 easy steps. Steep, refrigerate, enjoy. Grab Ms. Peaches now at StellaBlueCoffee.com. Use promo code PMT for 20% off your orders of $25 or more. So 20% off of orders of $25 or more. Promo code PMT. The cold brew is delicious. We're helping dogs. You can also find everything on Amazon. We have a whole shop set up. So Stella Blue, it is getting warm. It is cold brew season. You put the cold brew in your pitcher. You put the pitcher in the refrigerator. Boom, you have cold brew for the entire week. It couldn't be easier. Stella Blue Cold Brew, the Ms. Peaches blend. Go right now. Stella Blue Coffee. Use promo code PMT for 20% off orders of $25 or more. Okay. Knicks 121, Celtics 113. I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that this was a 3-1 series to the Celtics.
I was way wrong.
And the Knicks came to play.
They came to play.
They are a tough team.
Jalen Brunson was awesome down the stretch and the whole game. He ended up with 39. The Knicks, like, halftime, you're like, hey, man, this game is probably going to go the way that game 3 went. The Celtics were up. Jayson Tatum was on fire, but Jalen Brunson in the end, and the Knicks finally had like the even scoring throughout, where the like Cat chipped in, OG, Mikal Bridges, they all ended up with 20 plus, and they now have a 3-1 lead. And I was very impressed with the Knicks resolve. Also, Jalen Brunson like basically calling out the team and them answering. That was a leadership move. Like people were like, "Oh man, he's calling them out after one loss. They're up 2-1." No, he called them out, and they all stepped up to the plate, and so did he. That's a leader.
And Cat was feeling spicy last night too.
So zesty.
So spicy. Did you see him after the game? He has a move that I've never seen that he does. He goes in for a one-armed hug, and then puts his other arm out to the side like he's flying.
Yeah,
when he does it, just everything the guy does.
Yeah,
I love watching him. Now it was a credit to the Knicks. They battled back. They seem to be in the same spot that they were down, but they're a second half team. They've proved that.
Yep.
You can't kill them. They never go away. how much do we put on the Knicks winning this game as opposed to the Celtics losing this game?
I think the Knicks won this game.
Because I think that the Knicks, the way they were playing in the second half, really the entire second half, they were the better team.
Yeah.
For 2 quarters.
Yeah.
And they're the most important 2 quarters.
And it wasn't like the Celtics shot horrifically bad from 3. They weren't great from 3, but they were, 37.5%. That's not terrible. So, yeah, I think I was very, very impressed with the Knicks' resolve. This team, the Garden was alive. And I think that's pretty much the recap of the game, Hank.
Yeah, let's talk Caps.
Yeah, he's learning.
You are learning. So what's up, Hank? How we doing? The real story here is Jayson Tatum went down with an injury. The Knicks were probably going to win this game anyway.
I think at the time the Knicks seemed to be the better team, but I mean anything could have happened from that point on. But you can't put the injury, you can't blame the loss entirely on the injury.
Yeah, he got injured with 3 minutes left. The Knicks on the injury took a 9-point lead. The injury was tough because it was a little bit of the Jalen Brown turning the ball over thing that it's not his fault that Jayson Tatum might have torn his Achilles. We still don't have a report. I'm sure by the time people are listening, there'll be a report. What do you want to start with, Hank? You want to start with that being down 3-1? You want to start with Tatum? What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Max?
Max has nothing to do with this.
Well, I think he has something to do with this.
He's a scumbag, but it was one of the worst nights as a sports fan in a long time.
Same.
We went from, going into the game, even the first half, we were kind of dominating. Theyre quite couldn't miss. Felt like we were going to blow them out again. Road to Banner 19. And then within 2 hours, everything is in limbo. It feels like this version, like the championship team of the Celtics, we might never see play again.
Everything's in limbo.
What are you shaking your head, Max?
I mean, unless Jayson Tatum is okay, I think we can confirm you'll never see that team again.
Oh, so he's saying that he was shaking his head because you said might, and he's saying it's guaranteed.
Hank earlier today, when he says everything, he means everything. Like he was questioning the entire team. He's like, I don't know if they like Joe Mazzulla.
I didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
Okay, what'd you say?
I just said obviously the luxury. It's more the luxury tax. We knew going into the playoffs, like they were going to have to move people around with the luxury tax. I think the Celtics organization loves Joe Mazzulla. I'm not worried about that. There's Celtics fans that are throwing that out there. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think the Celtics organization agrees with that at all. Where I'm at right now is just we have to win this series. Like the off season. Can you win this series? Yes, we can win this series. We have a bunch of champions on this team. We still have the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. We have the Finals MVP ready to go. We've been up big in all 4 games of this series. So I still think we can win the series, and the off season looks bleak, especially depending on what the injury is. Who knows? Might just be a severely rolled ankle. We'll probably know by the time this podcast comes out. But I am just in complete procrastination, push off all the problems until the offseason. So the longer we can go with this season, that's where my mentals are at. Is
okay.
Just fight, win the series, shut these stupid Knicks fans up, and then I still think we could win the championship. But that's where I'm at is just make it as far along in the season as we can, because once the offseason comes, a lot of things are going to change, and that's very sad.
You just got to win one game. Not just like one game at a time.
Yep.
So this is a very important game, and you're going to be there in person for it.
I will be there in person.
I need you to turn the series around.
I'm going to do my best.
I threw out a spin zone to you earlier this morning. You did not seem to.
I don't even remember what you said.
Okay, what I told Hank, and I actually think this is how you should be thinking. The reporting up until this point was that the Celtics, and just looking at the luxury tax, the Celtics were going to have to make some changes this offseason, right? Like, they're going to probably have to trade. There's been talks about trading Jalen Brown. There's been talks about, I don't know how much left Drew Holiday has on his contract, but there's going to – this Celtics, the team that won last year is not going to be the team that starts the season next year. And it was going to be hard decisions. If Jayson Tatum tore his Achilles, those decisions become a little bit easier where it's like, hey, we've lost a year, but this is where the hard reset happens. Get under the luxury tax. It's almost like the painfulness of breaking up a potentially championship team is not even going to be there because the championship team's not going to be there because Jayson Tatum won't be playing for a year.
Unless we win the championship.
That's
then
true.
there'll be a chance. You got to keep winning.
But do you not, like, it almost took the whole, like, how could you trade this guy? How could you trade this guy out of it? Because it's like, if this next year is lost, it's going to be a hard reset.
I'm not thinking about
what.
next year. I'm not thinking about the offseason. We
I was
still
trying to
are
help
in
you.
the playoffs. We're in a playoff series. We gotta fight. You can't think about the offseason. We're still in the playoffs.
You can win. You can beat the Knicks without Jayson Tatum.
Yes, we can.
Do you feel a little bit bad about provoking the Garden?
No.
You did kind of poke the Garden, though.
You did poke the Garden.
Do you feel a little bit bad about this entire playoffs? Just saying, you don't feel bad about that at all?
Nope.
Saying what?
No.
Saying that it was a foregone conclusion that they were in the finals. If anyone else were on the
we're
show,
on to the finals.
I want to be fair to Hank, though, because I've heard Hank say like 6 times
I still
throughout
think
this whole
I still think we're on to
conversation.
the finals.
He
I love
always
that.
he always says, barring injury.
True.
He has said that a lot.
did he say that on this past episode? Because I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
I forget when he said.
I remember he said that at the beginning of the.
I've been saying that all.
Regardless,
He's been
they would
saying
still
it
be down 3-1.
almost too much. Where I've been like, why do you keep almost wishing injury on yourself?
Let's also make that abundantly clear. The Celtics lost that game before Jayson Tatum.
Yeah,
got
that's
hurt.
we said that.
But
Yeah.
like, barring injury, they still would be down 3-1.
3-1.
Correct.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Hank?
We'll never know that.
We won't.
Okay, all right.
We won't. We did make that abundantly clear, though, Max. But
I just wanted to make sure.
It's abundanter now.
I just wanted to make sure.
So
it does suck that Jayson Tatum got hurt. He's 27 years old. It's Achilles injury. That's going to be a year
Maybe.
out, maybe. But it sucks. It sucks for him. It sucks for us because Jayson Tatum was one of my favorite guys who, like, by all accounts, great teammate, great father, great player. It was fun to make.
Aura.
It was fun to make fun of him for the trivial things.
yeah,
Like, you don't, like, when someone gets hurt who you don't actually hate, you just like to, poke your friends about the trivial things. It's like, damn, well, I didn't want that to happen to that guy. We were just kind of joking about the whole aura thing. Like, that's what does aura even mean?
so now I've
By the way, if anyone saw Timothy Chalamet without the Timberlands laced up,
yeah.
do I know aura or do I know aura?
Because do you remember-
Hank, admit Timothy Chalamet with Kylie Jenner looking so fucking hot. Bonk me. Timberlands not laced up had aura.
Yeah, I would say Stephon Diggs was right next to him, also wearing Timberlands, not laced up. He looked even better. with
Okay,
Cardi
so
B.
all right, so
Aura.
you agree with that? So
Nobody's
will you
ever
take-
said that Stephon Diggs does not have aura.
Yeah,
the
will you
man,
take-
if anything, has too much aura.
Yeah, way too much. Will you take back your comment saying, like, how could you be the one fashion police and aura judge when I was spot on?
Sure,
Okay, thank you.
whatever.
Do you remember like a couple days ago when we were talking about high tops on this show?
Yeah.
And I told you about the study that's if you wear high top shoes, you're actually more likely to get an ankle injury. Mm-hmm. That's what laced up Timbs do. If you tie your Timbs up tight, it makes you more likely to have an ankle injury. Just something to think about.
Hank,
I hope it's an ankle injury, so I hope you're right about that.
Just something to think about.
do you want to say anything about our gracious friend Jerry O'Connell, who retired?
Yeah, he's a flip-flopping pussy
Okay.
because he unretired.
He did unretire.
He got bullied
barring
by
no-
the internet.
So he said
No
that
backbone.
out of respect.
Where is he? Where's he going to come on? Oh, big man.
No, he's actually not. Did you want him to come on?
No.
Tom
He's-
Brady retired and then unretired.
Yeah, he said out of respect for Stool Presidente and Hennies and the Celtics, and especially Jayson Tatum, Mr. Bing Bong will be taking a break for the remainder of this series. Appreciate all you all do, Bing Bong. And then he, 4 hours later, said, after some thought, if the Celtics win Game 5 tomorrow, Mr. Bing Bong will be back.
Flip-flopper.
Okay.
So
Also, shout out Jerry, who sent me and PFT some very funny voice messages that all of them said afterwards, not for air, all caps.
we'll just say that Jerry, he's unveiled a new character. It's a private character that only me and Big Cat get to see. It's not Mr. Bing Bong anymore. It's Dr. Bing Bong.
Dr. Bing Bong
Dr.
was giving
Bing Bong
diagnosis
was
last
making
night.
some great points last night in the side chat.
Till like midnight. I was laying
Yeah.
in bed and Dr. Bing Bong had another report.
Hank, I am a little bit worried about you though, because last night you said you weren't feeling good. And so I just want to make sure that you were feeling okay today, health-wise.
Yeah, I couldn't get off the couch last night.
Yeah, so I was willing to tape an emergency pod. It felt
Same,
like
so was I.
It felt like a time when we should have done an emergency pod. If we ever do it, last night would have been a great time because so much stuff happened. I'd even taken an edible, but I was ready to lock it in and try to focus. Hank wasn't feeling good, unfortunately.
I would have done it.
Big Cat was asleep. Yeah.
Well, no, hold on. I threw out the idea to do an emergency pod right after all of it happened, and I got no response. And then 2 hours went by, and then it was like, oh, should we? It was like, well, the moment kind of is gone. They wanted it right away. I was the first one to say emergency pod.
I was down.
You said you were sick.
I was still down.
Okay. I don't know if you did say you were down.
You say sick or down?
I don't think you ever did say you were down.
I didn't say I was down, but if you had asked me, like, can we do this, I would have said yes. I would have answered the bell.
Were you down or were you sick? Were you down with the sickness?
I was sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the illness was, but it was just, I was just sick.
I'm
still sick.
I have to confess.
You never said you were down. I said,
but if you said
do
we're
an
gonna
emergency pod, and then an hour after that, PFT said, for the record, I'd be willing to do one, and then you still never replied.
But because you said I'm in bed.
Well, that was
tomorrow
at 11 o'clock.
If you said we're doing it, I would have said yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Hank. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for would have
You're
having
welcome.
said yes.
Okay.
So I have to confess, me and Big Cat did hit the side chat real quick because neither one of us wanted to jump into the main chat after the Jayson Tatum. We wanted to give you some space because obviously it's a traumatic thing that you're dealing with.
We weren't getting into the main chat.
And we weren't saying anything mean, but what I did say was that you have to admit it would be very, very funny if the Celtics went on to win the championship without Tatum, and then we could just continue to clown on Tatum in the future.
I'm fine with that.
Well, I was like, PFT, good point, but there would be a funnier one, and that would be the Celtics getting to Game 7 and then Tatum miraculously coming back and then losing Game 7 in the finals.
I just want to beat New York. That's really where my mind.
One game at a time.
Beat New York.
One game at a time. I do feel like, Hank, my future is tied to your future because I think there's no chance that the Caps win Game 5 if you don't win your Game 5.
So let's win Game 5.
I think the series are going to go the exact same way.
Hank, do you have anything to say to Max? Because Max, you take the floor. The debate that has raged across the country, Embiid versus Tatum, took an interesting turn last night.
Tatum looked phenomenal.
He looked incredible.
I was like ready to. I mean, he looked really good. He looked like a superstar last night, and from experience, I know that it sucks when your superstar player goes down and it looks like they're out for a year. But I can help you. I can like tell you how to maneuver this situation.
Yeah,
I've been there before.
I think that'd be helpful.
That'd be really nice. Okay, can you help him?
I'm asking you. Do you want, or would you like to receive my help?
Yes.
Sure.
So this is how you do it. You got to just put
your headphones back on.
He took off the headphones.
You don't get to say sure. Your friend is trying to help you.
When you have this situation, you turn lemons into lemonade.
Right.
Yeah, you beat the Knicks.
No. We're done with the Knicks.
Oh no.
We're done. We're done with the Knicks. But again, if the Celtics do end up winning, whatever, we're
done with the Knicks.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. You can use this opportunity to get a good pick.
Right. That's what I told them. It's a hard reset.
If you look at the past of the Sixers, when Joel Embiid gets hurt, since Joel Embiid and Jayson Tatum are looking like similar players in this moment of their careers, you can take years off.
Wait, what's the eye roll?
Picks.
What's the eye roll?
Jayson Tatum is a champion.
Right, but
that's a team.
He's saying
team
like
award.
next year, both of their statuses are up.
Well, like Embiid didn't play this year. Tatum's not going to play next year. It's
maybe.
I hope that he comes back. I want that on the record. I hope that he comes back.
I don't root for any injuries.
No, and he looked so good last night. And people were so mad that I tweeted that he looked good last night.
He did.
People were so
he was the best player on the floor.
He was let's not. Jalen Brunson was on the floor.
I think
Jalen Brunson was on the floor.
Tatum was the best player on the floor last night.
That's another question. When do we talk about Jalen Brunson being a superstar? We were doing.
I think we've talked about that a lot. Yeah.
I think that if they go to the finals, we'll get close.
I mean, he was incredible last night.
Yeah, he was. He was insane.
But if you ever want to talk, I'm here for you. I've been in your situation. Embiid, Tatum, very similar players. You know, sometimes you just got to take a year off and reassess as a franchise,
and hope the lottery ball works.
And then hope the lottery ball works out. You could have a top 3 pick next year. Think about it. Think about that.
No, I'm not thinking about the offseason. I'm not thinking about next year. I'm focused on the Knicks.
Focus on the Knicks. So if you lose on Wednesday night with you on the wood, you'll then be ready to address these things?
Yep. That's
Okay.
not going to happen, though.
Okay. I actually do think the Celtics will probably
Celtics
win
are
Game 5.
for sure going to win Game 5.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, Hank, what... I mean, it sucks. If you lose a guy in the prime of his career for a year, that's... I mean, KD, that happened to him. Like, that's... He came back. He was okay.
Kobe came back. There are some bad studies about Achilles injuries and like.
Oh no! Have you been reading?
Don't look at the bad
Yeah.
ones.
You can't
Just don't look at the bad
studies,
ones,
dude.
Tatum's young. That actually, this is like, Tatum is young enough that like he'll miss a year, come back, and still be under 30. Like you can't say that about a lot of these injuries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is crazy though because it just shows how like fleeting sports are, where it's like the window is open, but then it could just jam shut and like in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I mean, like there's not the Derrick Rose one is similar. Like there's not a lot of. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, but that was the beginning of the year and a new team. Like the franchise. If there's not a franchise future probability, but it's like we went from things looking towards a championship to, like I said, it's like everything. If you were worried about the offseason, which I'm not, but when that time comes, everything's up in the air, and
it just changes everything like in a blink of an eye, and you're like, what the fuck? I thought it was going to go this way, and it went a completely different way.
Yeah.
The good news is you've got a really good team. You
Yeah.
still have a lot of good players.
We do.
Right? Guy
We do.
for guy, you've got some good players.
Really good players.
Agreed.
Right.
I think we're going to beat the Knicks.
Are you
and I think
mad-
we can beat the Pacers.
Are you mad at anyone?
No.
No one.
God.
No one.
You're mad at
God.
God. Have you
Okay.
spoke to God?
I haven't. We're in a fight.
Can we release the graphic? Hank and God currently in a fight. It's complicated. Friendship their status update.
Are you ghosting?
It's complicated.
Are you ghosting God?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You're like I feel like people were pretty respectful online last night because it's like Jayson Tatum again. He's like we make jokes about the aura, but that's such a trivial thing. He's a great player, and it sucks to see a great player go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were there any scumbags out there?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's fucking New York fans, the biggest scumbags.
I
in the
saw
world.
some Knicks fans that had some very classy takes though.
Yeah.
The first person that I
Stephen
saw
Shea.
that with a take on it was Stephen Shea, who was all class, saying as a Knicks fan you hate to see an injury like this.
Yeah.
So I think the loudest voices were actually the good ones this time. So that was nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no one to really be mad about. It's a freak injury. It's a bad injury, non-contact. He's missed one playoff game in his career. He's Mr. Durability, and to go out like this is tough. But it's still a team game. We're still in the series. Got to win Game 5. Got to win Game 6. Got to win Game 7.
Chase says, as a Knicks fan, I hope Jayson Tatum isn't really hurt. He's having an incredible game, and I want to. What does that say? I want to win this series against a healthy Celtics team.
And then he also went on to say, I think Jayson Tatum injured his Achilles here.
Dr. Bing Bong.
Hopefully not torn. What? That was a hot take from Stephen Shea.
Yeah. No, he did it like an hour after. Too.
Yeah.
Are you mad at Rick Pitino?
Yeah, I mean the Rick Pitino. That was I might have lashed out there.
He's a recurring guest.
Yeah, he's a recurring guest. But he was a fucking Celtics coach, and he tweeted after the game like, "There's nothing better than being in the Garden with Knicks fans and watching the Knicks win." Disgusted me.
Yeah. Well, he's recruiting. The Garden is where he plays a lot of home games. So
Yeah.
he's trying to pump up the Garden.
Yeah, but I tweeted "fuck this guy." I was mad.
Yeah.
I was in a tough. I was sick. I was a sick tweet.
Yeah. That was a sick
You
tweet.
never want to tell people to.
What would
fuck
your
Rick Pitino.
what would your take be right now if Tatum didn't get injured? You're down 3-1.
Well, we might not be down 3-1.
Well, okay. Let's pretend that the
If we
9-point
had
lead-
lost that game, I would just say it's load up the clip, get the Uzis ready, grenades, went Celtics in 7. We've kind of dominated the series.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
We're still the better team.
Speak on it, Hank.
We're
Speak
still,
on it, Hank.
We're still the better
I love
team.
it.
We're
Yep.
still the better team.
I love it.
I would still like our chances.
You've
I still
dominated.
like our chances.
You've dominated.
I said we've kind of
sweetie.
dominated.
Oh, sweetie pie.
But yeah, if Jayson Tatum wasn't hurt, I'd feel great about this series.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the score was.
You guys have been owning the Knicks, and it hasn't been close.
Yeah. The Knicks they're playing. I was very.
Jalen Brunson's a stud.
I thought the Knicks were.
Mikal Bridges is a stud.
Yeah, they were both.
He
incredible.
just hit a fucking 10 trillion 8-footers.
I thought the Knicks were going to be dead, and yeah, very wrong. Last question for you. At any point last night, did you think of Max and be like, I fucking hate his guts?
No, I don't think about Max.
Okay, I feel like that might be a lie.
I don't know.
You did leave
I
the
can see
group
that
text.
when something like
Well, yeah, you guys were reveling in injuries, and
It was not. I didn't say anything.
No,
last night.
no. That did not happen.
when something like this happens, I understand that, Hank. You have to go into a hole. You have to retreat into your own hole.
I've done this before.
and just block everything's sad. Everything sucks if you have a superstar that gets hurt. It's not a good place to be in. We tried to respect your boundaries last night.
No, you didn't. You kept adding me back to the group text.
I did, but that's just because we're a team.
I said, did you guys see Chalamet at the game? Max said, Aura, you left the conversation. That had nothing to do with Tatum at all.
No, it did, because remember Tatum wore.
Oh, I guess the Aura
yeah.
part, but I was just commenting about Chalamet.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be in that conversation anymore, so I left.
Okay.
And you didn't respect that.
Well, I mean, we plan stuff on the show and stuff like that. We need you here. Like, what if you miss an important text?
I think the Celtics are going to win this series.
I think they're going to win Game 5.
I think
Game
I don't
five.
know
Whole
about.
thing.
I don't know about Game 6.
I think Joe Mazzulla.
Joe Mazzulla is gonna get
Joe
these
Mazzulla
boys.
is locked in right
There you
now.
go, Hank.
Fired up.
Joe Mazzulla is going to be watching. He's going to watch Troy. He's going to put Troy on nonstop and be like, "This is how you respond from an Achilles injury."
Yeah.
Remember when they came back 3-2 against the Sixers?
Yep.
Think about.
I do.
Think about, Hank, close your eyes and think about the moment that you're on the wood on Wednesday night and Joe Mazzulla locks eyes with you and gives you a little nod, being like, it's fucking on.
He's going to come right up to you and be like, we're going to win this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then you're
You're going to come.
come.
He's
You
gonna-
are
he's gonna say,
everywhere.
for you, Hank.
Yeah.
Not for me. It's for the city. Believe in Boston.
Yeah, that's
Don't
the
give up the
mentality.
ship.
That's the mentality you
Memes.
gotta have.
You are a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Congrats.
This is an incredible podcast.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have anything to say about the game or Hank or anything?
I just love Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and OG.
Okay. And would you, if you could magically heal Jayson Tatum, would you do it?
Yes, absolutely.
That's huge.
What do you think about
That's
Hank's
huge.
claim that the Celtics are dominating the series?
Kind of, I said.
Sure. Still 3-1, but whatever floats your boat. Doesn't matter. You were so happy Sunday.
That's mean.
That's I just want I
happy.
just want to beat memes.
I just want that happy guy around.
You were so happy.
I feel like Memes hasn't even said anything to you.
I don't care.
But it's the thought of things he could say.
Memes is the idea of Memes.
Yes,
Because he
right.
knows what Memes is thinking.
Right.
That's what Hank really
That's why I thought maybe he was mad at you, Max, because he knew what you were thinking last night.
I had some thoughts.
You share a couple.
I hate it truly does suck that Jayson Tatum got hurt. I'm not
Agreed.
kidding when I say that. It was fun to watch. It was a fun narrative. But it was really tough that for the past week I've had a million people say that he's Iron Man and that he's never missed a game. And then that's why he's so much better than Embiid, and then literally 3 days later, done. Same thing that happens to Embiid. Injuries happen.
Injuries do happen.
Hank?
It's true. I can't really defend that. He's not wrong.
Do I get any thoughts and prayers for cashing out of my Knicks future? Like, I feel like last night that was
all-time cash
that was
out.
a bad night for me last night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, really bad. I didn't leave the group chat though.
Although that's kind of the cash out. I would give you more thoughts and prayers because I already used my one thought and prayer for the Caps and the Wizards. You only dated that future for a day.
I think it was 2. It might have been 2
Like
days.
if you had been married to that future for a couple months, I would have been like, oh my God, PFD, I feel so bad. You had a one night stand with
It was hot and heavy for a couple days. It was a one night stand with a great morning after, and then
were like,
I had to get out of town.
Here, what you were like, watch a magic trick. Here's how I can automatically lose 10% of my money.
Yeah, but
in
I felt
a day.
I did. It was one of those cash outs where you feel awesome about cashing out of it.
Yeah.
You're like, that's a smart choice for the future. Turns out it wasn't. So yeah, last night, I mean, I was a victim too, so I get it.
Yeah, and I was a victim too because, like I said, I like harmlessly joking about Jayson Tatum's aura was fun.
and it's gone.
No, we can't do it.
The whole debate was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun.
It was a good debate, and it was eerily prescient.
Yeah,
Max. It was you looking into the future, and truly understanding the pulse of the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Ear to the
Yeah,
street.
people are so. I tweeted Tatum looks really good tonight because I was just preparing to have to eat my word. I mean, I was preparing
Bet
for
you
this
would like to eat
this
those.
episode, and then a bunch of Celtics fans saw that tweet and thought that I tweeted it after he got hurt, and then I was getting
Check the timestamps.
and then I was getting Well,
I
it was
had a
half
similar one that I muted that was just like Tatum is on fire or rising. It was
Yeah.
like maybe 20 minutes before the injury.
and then the other moment was everyone was just like, "This is your fault. You put his Embiid stink. You put your Embiid stink on Tatum."
Now
and
you
this
did do that.
happened.
That's a fair.
I
take.
understand, and
Yeah,
I
that's a fair
understand.
take. Yeah.
And also I understand that like when an injury like that happens, fans got to find a place.
You got to blame someone.
You got to
I'm
go
happy-
somewhere. Yeah.
I saw one thing that was being blamed, and I agree with it. We could do with less of the cameras in the tunnels when guys are on wheelchairs.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And they're crying. I
didn't need to see Tatum like in like probably not only a painful moment, but like a moment where he's realizing his next season might be done.
Right.
I feel bad for the guy.
He was having a moment where the world was crashing in on him.
Right.
We don't need to see that. Like have a little bit of respect for the guy at that point.
Because there is obviously, I can't relate at all to a professional athlete in terms of injuries, but anyone who's been injured in anything knows that it's like the injury happens, there's the immediate, ow, it's pain, and then the moment of like, shit, I'm going to be injured for a while now. That's like, it's devastating.
Yeah, thinking about what the injury means for your future.
Right.
It's a crisis that you go through. I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see him crying and all that stuff.
I'd agree.
It was bad.
So we hope Jayson Tatum gets, hopefully we get good news because I do not want to see him injured.
I want to see Jayson Tatum come back maybe more than anybody on this podcast so that we can make fun of him.
Right. Oh, if it was just an ankle roll, imagine that, Hank.
I would love that.
Yeah, because you would eat all those jokes.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
It's
In
like
his heartbeat.
when Trevor Lawrence, remember when he was
Maybe
crying?
he's just embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like you're fine, and he's just embarrassed that he was crying.
It's like Ricky Bobby, fake on fire.
It might be in his head.
Right.
That'd be great.
Okay. Wolves, Warriors. This series feels over.
I don't know how there's no report though. That makes no sense to me.
We'll keep looking. We'll get one.
He might be fine.
The Wolves Warriors game. The Warriors had a lead at halftime again. They just do not have enough offense.
They just run out of stuff. They run out of ideas. Their ideas work great for and a half, and then they can't rely on mucking it up and getting mid range and all this stuff. They can't. 4 quarters is too much for them to do that.
And Jimmy Butler,
They're fighting though.
Jimmy Butler, who I think was under the weather going into the game, it was very clear the Wolves were like, all right, defensively, if we just pack the paint and don't let Jimmy Butler score on floaters and drives the basket and make him pass the ball out to the 3-point line, they can't beat us. And that proved out to be true because they couldn't really hit shots from 3. And Anthony Edwards was awesome again, and Julius Randle was awesome again. These two, like, together, I mean, we're wooing.
Yeah, listen,
A woo.
they're a very, very fun team. And then with McDaniels just cleaning up the glass, just eating glass all day,
Yeah.
they are going to be very, very tough to beat. I don't think the Warriors can beat them without Steph. Not even a single game.
Yeah, I wish we had Steph in this series because it would be a lot more fun. The Warriors are keeping these games relatively close. At the end of the game, again, they almost covered again in a crazy fashion. So like it looks like it was a 7-point game. It really wasn't in the second half because the Wolves just jumped right all over them in the third quarter. But yeah, I'm impressed with the Timberwolves. I think they're a very good team. I just wish we could see Steph. Similar to Jayson Tatum, you just don't want to see really good guys get hurt.
I'm impressed with Kuminga though.
Yeah, maybe fool's gold.
What do you mean?
I don't know. He's a weird one because he has really good games and he has bad games, but he's one of those guys, I think he's in his 4th year, where he's been like in and out of the doghouse. So it's like, how much is it his confidence? And I don't know. I can't figure out Kuminga.
He was pretty efficient though.
Yeah, no,
Like
I'm
it's
saying,
not like he was
has
trying to
good
get out of the
moments.
doghouse and then trying to like shoot his way out and be like, I'm going to get my points.
Well, the doghouse is irrelevant now because he has to play.
You can't afford to have a doghouse.
Right. I'm saying like in the course of his career, he's had a very up and down, like one step forward, 2 steps back kind of feel. But maybe this is where he fully steps forward and is like, oh yeah. he can be a real option for them.
How many guys did they play last night? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I think
8,
14.
9, 10, 15. 14 guys.
Yeah.
14 guys saw the court.
Yeah, they're trying everything, and the Wolves are down to their eight-man rotation that works, and the Wolves are really good. All right, PFT, you are down. Hank, are you still with us? You're just looking for Tatum updates?
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
He's locked in on the Caps.
You want to talk about the Caps?
Yeah, they suck. Their offense is terrible.
It's fair. These are fair points.
They're down 3-1.
Down 3-1. We talk about it in a little bit more depth with Yandle, but it's been no fun to watch this series at all. And it's a compliment to the Hurricanes. They have a way of sucking the soul out of you when you play hockey where you just can't get into the zone. That's the most frustrating part of watching a team that should be good on offense, not even being able to get the ball or the puck into their zone.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch. It's very frustrating. They're getting more chances on our power plays than we are. Their shorthanded opportunities are better than ours. So it's looked pretty bad. Yesterday was one of the worst days in Washington sports that you could ever draw up.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad. Dropping to 6 with the Wizards in the draft, and then the Caps going out there and just doing nothing for 2 periods. The Caps just need to score first. That's my theory. It's just take advantage of the early game opportunities, put a puck in the net. Not a ball, put a puck in the net, and then see how the game goes from there, because you can't play from behind against the Hurricanes.
Yeah. We should talk about the lottery. So, crazy. The Mavs win the lottery, 1.8% chance to win the lottery. It was a coin flip with the Bulls, so they had the same record. They coin flip. The Mavs get 1.8, the Bulls get 1.7. Now, I don't think – I saw some people being like, that was if Buzelis doesn't hit the buzzer beater against the Lakers, the Bulls get the number 1 pick. I'm going to say the Mavs were getting the number 1 pick no matter what.
Yeah, it's not how it works. Like, they had a 0.1% better chance of getting the overall number 1 pick than you did,
but
because
I think
they won the coin toss.
Their numbers would have been our numbers, maybe.
I don't know if you swap numbers at that point.
So we
you probably swap one. They probably get one extra number.
Right. So we were. Yeah, true. Good point. That makes me feel better.
Yeah. So it's not like that.
Really good point.
That determined everything.
Yeah. That's a really good point. So we got credentialed and we were at the lottery. We might have gotten. We're
suckers.
So
I'm a sucker.
So shout out to the NBA. Very nice of them. They let us get credentialed, which we don't get credentialed for anything.
Well, you guys wanted to get credentialed. That's the only thing I'll say.
Yeah.
You guys are saying you got used, but
no, we didn't get used.
You guys
I'm just
wanted
saying
to go.
We are suckers because we wanted to go. We got dressed up. There's a video coming out. I had to leave early because it was my son's birthday, but PFT and Max stayed for the actual lottery reveal. But we got there dressed like idiots in suits, credentials, which we're 6-year-olds. They hand us a fucking picture of ourselves on a laminated card with a lanyard on, and we all like, holy shit, this is cool. And I'm just walking around. Look at this credential.
Hit the buffet.
Yeah.
Did the whole thing. Did the behind the scenes tour. They made us feel special going into the room. So the way the draft lottery works out is there's 2 rooms for everything. One room is where the real shit happens, and that's where they have all the numbers up on the wall. That's where the guy from Ernst & Young is supervising everything. That's where they do the drawing, and then after they do the drawing, they take the results in a briefcase and they bring it out to the main room, where they announce it to the world. Mm-hmm. So everybody that is supervising the draft lottery as it actually happens in the real secret room, they get their cell phones taken away. It's like a conclave.
They get locked in there.
They're electing the Pope.
Yeah.
And they don't get their cell phones back until after it's been broadcast to the world. And then they take the results out, and that's where you see Hakeem Olajuwon, that's where you see Bub Carrington, that's where you see Jared McCain representing their teams, is when they make that announcement after it's already happened. And we got the tour behind the scenes. We saw the official lottery ball machine that they have.
Yep.
Which
I wanted to buy it.
I told Max this, but when you looked at that, my first thought was I would love to smoke out of this thing.
Yeah.
You could turn that into
like
a sick-ass bong. I want to blaze up out of there.
I'm not a drug guy.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks, Hank. And being behind the scenes, we talked to them for a little bit. We started to make some jokes. I took out $80 in my pocket. I was like, I got $80 if you rig it for the Wizards.
I took out a lot
and
of
then,
hundreds.
And then Big Cat opened up his wallet, took out some money too, and they were like, okay, guys, time for you all to go. You behaved yourself for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then we hit the buffet, which was underwhelming to say the least. And we had a very interesting conversation before the actual lottery itself. I think he was head of PR for the NBA. Really nice guy.
Really nice guy.
Came out and talked to us and explained to us the history of why the media is now welcome at the draft lottery. Because he used to see it behind the scenes, and then he was like, man, we got to get the media out here because if they really saw how this is done, they would know that it was impossible to rig this thing.
Right.
It's unriggable. And he was laying it on thick. He was doing a lot of unriggable talk. To us,
and we were eating it up.
I still am eating it up.
We were.
Shut the fuck
we
up,
were
Max.
Eating it up.
I'm still like,
and then
how the way this like how could you possibly how could you do that? How could you rig it?
It's rigged.
I don't think it's rigged. I believe what
this
that
is
I
about
believe
Max.
what that guy.
Max
got
did eat
to-
the most at the buffet.
It was the buffet.
I ate 0 of the buffet. PFD ate the most of the
But
buffet.
we did. It was funny because then afterwards, when the Mavs get the first pick, I texted the guys. I was like, why were we there again? And then like, oh yeah,
we asked to be there.
I know, but then they had us talking about how unriggable it is, and they gave us food and a lanyard and everything.
I'm sure they get pissed off that everyone says that it's rigged. when-
I'm sure they're very happy with the outcome of the draft.
correct,
lottery.
but I'm
Yes.
sure that it does get annoying that if they
Does it,
put in
though?
all of this work for it not to be rigged, and then everyone just says this is rigged.
Well, then they should rig it to make it not rigged. They should rig it so the worst teams get it.
Here's what
You're just upset because you didn't get it.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, I thought about this last night because it sucked that the Wizards, really what was on the line for me, I had a 14% chance of becoming a Wizards fan last night. and the numbers did not hit. And I was excited about rooting for the Wizards again. So now it's back to the drawing board for me. But then I thought, I got enough on my plate. I don't need to worry about the Wizards. It's just, as Forrest Gump would say, good, that's one less thing.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. Back to not caring about the Wiz for me.
Yeah, but it was it's crazy. I'm in one part happy for Mavs fans because they have gone through hell, and Mavs fans did not trade Luka.
Yeah.
It got so Mavs fans, I'm pumped for it. They actually deserve it. Nico Harrison, that fuck, does not deserve it unless it's rigged and he worked out a deal with the NBA, which you could tell me that. You could convince me
Not
that.
rigged.
I'd buy that.
GM of the year.
Yeah, GM of the year. He just knew how this was all going to play out. But Max, you have to admit that there have been some interesting lotteries. Have there not?
Yeah, no, for sure. I've seen
The Patrick Ewing, the LeBron to Cleveland, the Derrick Rose to Chicago. Then you go to the 2011. LeBron makes the decision. 18 months later, the Cavs get the number 1 pick. The 2012, the Hornets.
Not shopping Luka.
Not shopping Luka. A clandestine trade. 2012, the Hornets, who are now the Pelicans, get the number 1 pick a few months after trading Chris Paul, which the NBA technically owned the team when they traded Chris Paul. Then a new owner comes. They get the Anthony Davis pick. 2014, LeBron goes back to Cleveland. They get the number 1 pick. They get to trade it for Kevin Love. 2019, the Pelicans trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers. They get Zion. Mavs, 2025, they trade Luka to the Lakers. They get Cooper Flagg. It's interesting.
I also
It's a
feel like
thought
there's
starter.
plenty of stories where it's like the most boring team, like the Pelicans.
Yeah, but that's not what we
it's-
do here,
Yeah, Max. Here's where you're wrong. Here's
how
where
much did they pay you?
Here's where you can pick and choose.
They
Max.
were very nice. They were very nice.
Yeah, you're very happy with how things turned out for your Sixers. Very,
Correct.
very happy. Of course, you're
Also
saying it's not
correct.
rigged. But you can pick
He's
and
a
choose.
buffet whore.
I did not touch the buffet.
Dude,
Yeah.
he was inside of that buffet.
Yeah,
We have it on camera. The only thing that
You-
the only thing I ate at the buffet is when you
time
fed
out,
me the
time
yogurt
out. Who was the
and just put it on my face.
Who was the cameraman?
That was me, but you
Oh,
put
interesting.
You put the
Who-
yogurt in my face.
Who's editing the video?
Pug?
Well, you were the cameraman. Interesting.
Now, to be fair to Max, he might not have touched the buffet, but they only had healthy options at this buffet.
Yeah, the buffet
It
actually
was
stunk. I didn't eat
like I said,
anything.
subpar. It was like grilled chicken, quinoa, couscous, a lot of stuff that Max doesn't know how to pronounce, much less eat. So he did. Yeah, it is true. You didn't touch the health stuff. But when you look at the teams or the examples where it has been rigged, quote unquote, you do find a lot of superstars coming out of the tops of those drafts.
Yeah.
Like you might rig it when it matters, and you don't rig it when it doesn't really matter.
Right.
I'm saying, I tend to believe the guy when he says that it's not rigged. He had a great way about him, good mannerisms, They were nice enough to bring us behind the scenes. But also that shit's fucking rigged and I fucking hate it. And there should be an investigation.
It's every sports conspiracy theory where, like, if you had a gun to my head and you're like, you have to say yes or no, was this rigged? I would say no. But is life more fun when you can explain the crazy outcomes of things by saying rigged? Yeah,
absolutely.
It's way more fun.
And
just yell rigged out loud. It's fun.
It was a big night, too, for people that don't really have a firm concept of probability to just throw out numbers out there. So I had some people telling me that since 2008, there have been 5 teams that had a 3% chance or less to win the lottery that have won the lottery. So that is something that should happen 3% of the time, but it's happening 29% of the time. That's not really the case because there's a lot of teams that have like 3% or less, and when you add up all their odds together, it becomes like they actually have, I don't know what it is, 20%, 30% chance?
Right, like the Bulls got the pick that they were supposed to get. The Hawks got the pick they were supposed to get.
Yeah, and if you have...
Nothing changed with those.
If you have, under the new lottery system, if you have a bunch of teams that are like 3%, 2%, 1%, you add up all those percents together, and it's like, oh yeah, there's like a 30% chance that one of the teams with bad odds is going to get the top pick.
Right.
Not individually, like not like for example, the Mavericks, there was not a high percentage that they would get the first pick, but there was a reasonable percentage that one of the bad teams could move up. But it was like and you know who really made out like a bandit in all this? We're not talking about them. San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, they got the number 2
They're
pick.
flying under the radar because the Mavericks are taking all the heat for them.
But what you just said is a good point because I do think that the NBA they were trying to fix a problem and they've made it kind of worse because they were trying to fix the tanking problem by flattening the odds a few years ago, which they did, where it was now instead of whatever it used to be, it's now 14% is the highest you can get odds. I don't think that works because I still don't understand how a lower market team can get better other than through the draft. And you have to, like, I get it. You don't want tanking, but it feels like there's even more teams tanking. Like there was like half the Eastern Conference wasn't playing at the end of the season.
Yeah, if you're the Wizards, how do you get better?
Right.
How do you get better?
If you're the Jazz, how do you get better?
Yeah, I think the Wizards may be a little bit different because they do have, it is technically a big market in DC, but it's not like a rabid fan base.
Right, but you're the Hornets. You're the Pelicans. How do you get better?
Yeah,
you have to get drafted.
You have to just hit on Steph Curry in the draft.
Right.
If you find a guy that slips a little bit and he develops into being somebody that nobody expected, that's one way to do it. But that's very, very rare to do. It's hard to get a free agent. I just don't know what else the Wizards can do right now. Like, and if you're a Wizards fan, you're feeling pretty bad about yourself right now because your only solution that you have is, well, it looks like another shitty year where we win 20 games and then we have to rely on a lottery ball that's going to bounce our way to get a player that might end up making a difference for us down the line.
Right.
There's really not a lot that you can do. I had the theory, tell me if this is dumb, Big Cat. If you're the Wizards front office, do you pick up that phone and do you call Nico and do you say, just take a flyer? Nico, we will offer you the number 6 overall pick for the number 1 overall pick, and see what he says.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
The chance isn't 0 that he says yes.
Yeah,
there's a small chance.
No, you gotta just frame it in a way of like, hey, Nico, if you take the 1 overall pick and he ends up not being good, you could get fired.
You're dead. If
you take the 6 overall pick, people don't really expect a lot from that player. You could be good, dude.
And if he's a solid rotational guy, then people will be like, damn, Nico knows how to find him.
Mm-hmm.
That's
diamond in the rough.
Anyone can pick Cooper Flag. I could pick Cooper Flag right now.
What is the outcome you guys are rooting for the most? For me, it's somehow the Nico trades the Lakers the number 1 pick and gets Luka back.
Just a placeholder.
That'd be funny. Also, I think the funniest one, and I don't want this to happen for Mavs fans, but it would be very funny if he's like, Cooper Flag's bad on defense and takes, Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
It's like, he's just like, yeah, I'm zagging on that.
The problem with that is Cooper Flag is really good on defense.
I'm saying it's not real. It's just, Luka's also really fucking good at basketball, and Nico traded him. I do think that the Giannis thing is interesting because Giannis did say that he wants to play in a state with no income tax, reportedly.
Mm-hmm.
And would that I think the Bucks would absolutely do that trade, right?
Yeah,
in a heartbeat.
That also,
I don't know what the fair compensation is, but like, if you're the Bucks and you're like, hey, we're not going to win with Giannis, but we can get Cooper Flag and reset everything, and the Mavs would be an immediate with Giannis and Anthony Davis, and Kyrie's out. Did Kyrie have an Achilles too?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit old. I could see Eric Adams lobbying the state of New York to be like, just suspend income tax for a year so we can sign Giannis.
Yeah, why doesn't the state do that for players?
Yeah, just all athletes. I imagine that would get people very upset.
Not if they won.
That's true. Then they'd be very happy.
All right, so before we do Hot Seat Cool Throne, show of hands, rigged or not rigged, who thinks it is rigged?
Rigged.
I do.
Memes, you think it's rigged? No. Oh, so the Booth Boys.
All lotteries are fair.
Oh, okay.
All sports.
That's
Okay.
big of you, memes.
Okay.
I want to give credit to Max, though. So when they were announcing the order, at one point, Kevin Negande, he said that the Sixers are now, they've fallen out and they will not get a, top 6 pick?
Top 6 pick.
Top 6 pick. And immediately, the second that he said that, Max goes, that's not true.
I looked back at the footage. I did not say it immediately. I'll hand up. I did not say it immediately.
It was sooner than anybody else said it.
Because I was looking puzzled because it didn't make sense. He said the Sixers have fallen out of the top 6 at like the.
That was a sad cow.
Tatum underwent surgery to repair torn right Achilles tendon. Catastrophic season-ending injury for one of NBA's young faces in Celtics with a long rehab awaiting.
He did.
Damn.
They do surgery that fast? I thought they had to let swelling go down.
It's with the knee. I think with the heel it might be different.
Oh, fuck. I mean, he could be back for the end of next year. It's like a year, right?
Just worry about the Knicks, Hank.
Worry about the Knicks.
So any statement now?
Focus on game 5.
How much of, like, percentage-wise were you like, this is just fine?
The longer it was going.
Oh, that's mean.
I know.
They did that.
I know. Because Porzingis went down. I mean, obviously it was a little bit different, but he went down in the Heat series last year.
Yeah, and he was looking weird like it was an Achilles, yeah.
But he was fine.
This is bullshit. If they already did the surgery, they must have known like this morning.
They knew last night.
Why are they just reporting this now?
Because the injury report goes out at 4.
Oh.
Yeah, you with an Achilles, you know pretty much immediately.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just mean to.
Well, Stephen Che was the one who really knew it, like an hour after everyone else said it.
He said he thinks. He was like, I think this isn't.
I'm sorry, Hank. That sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sorry.
Fucking a man.
Fucking a man. Don't fuck this guy.
Just gotta beat the Knicks.
You got to beat the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
You got this, man.
Thanks.
So congrats, Max. I'm very happy that you got the number 3 overall pick.
Yeah. Wait, so Max yelled out right away. He's like,
well, there was upon Max's re-examining of the video, there was like a gap, but he was the first person that I heard say it, and it was pretty quickly after they made the mistake on the broadcast. And I kept making fun of Max. I'm like, no, you didn't, you loser. You dropped out, you loser. I think he meant to say the Wizards, but somebody in his ear told him that the Sixers dropped, and he repeated it because then they cut to commercial, and he was like, what the fuck was that? He was like mad at somebody in production.
He wasn't like mad. I think but he was just like, what the hell just happened there? Because someone was definitely, because he did, it was not the Wizards, because he did say the Sixers will lose their pick. So they were the only team that like could have happened to.
Yeah.
So it had to have been that someone was just wrong about the reporting of like what happened, which is crazy because they said it after like the 9th pick, which didn't make sense because their spot wasn't up yet. So in my head, I was like, this doesn't make sense unless someone already knew that and told him before they were supposed to tell him. Mm-hmm. But then when the 7th pick came out and it wasn't the Thunder, it was like, no, then the Sixers keep their pick because that was the only way that we were going to lose it.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm sorry, PFT.
It's okay.
Good job, Max. Coin flip didn't go my way, and NBA rigged.
Very rigged.
Not rigged.
I do not think
not
that
rigged.
I think that the Mavs were going to get it anyway. So
thank you for the very nice people that showed us around yesterday.
Yes, very nice.
Maybe not rigged, but if it was rigged, this is exactly how they would have rigged it.
Exactly how they'd rig it. Exactly.
There's probably another team that they could have.
No. Mavs.
Not really. Mavs.
Do the math, Max.
Do the math,
Bulls.
Max.
You don't think that they
No,
would like the Bulls?
No, because LeBron.
What?
Because LeBron needed a solid young player. He needed a superstar on his team. So the Mavericks send Luka over, and in exchange, the Mavericks, they get the number 1 overall pick.
The Eastern Conference is going to be a joke.
No, what he's saying is the Bulls because they want the big market. I think we'll get one eventually.
But we've been saying that. How many years in a row have Bulls fans be like, they're going to rig it in our favor?
Well, because that's the only hope you can have when they can't tank properly. And so we haven't had odds that have been like, I think that if the Bulls were the worst team, we would just get the first pick, but they just can't. It's crazy. And the Mavs, Mavs fans did deserve this.
It's also crazy that the Mavs had won the play-in.
Yeah.
That this wouldn't even be a conversation.
Correct. I hate the plan.
Also, credit to Pug. He had a great take.
That was brutal.
He hit us up last night. He said, "Yeah, but imagine if they kept Luka and got the number 1 overall pick. How much cooler that team would have been." We're like, "No, Pug. They would not have gotten a lottery pick if they still had Luka."
Yeah, I had to tell him right away. It's like Luka on the team probably isn't in the lottery. He's like, "Oh shit," but it would have been cool. Luka and Cooper Flag would have been sick. Real sick. All right. Should we do hot seat, cool throne? Hank, are you still with us?
Physically.
He's down so bad. You got to get to it. You're sitting on the wood, dude. And we're going to talk more hockey with Yans. We're going to talk about every series in depth. And then we got Pablo Torre. Hot seat, cool throne brought to you by our friends at Body Armor. Body Armor is the best. This segment is brought to you by Body Armor Sports Drinks. Body Armor has great tasting flavors like strawberry banana and orange mango with no artificial dyes, flavors, or sweeteners in a bold new look with the same great taste. Get your Body Armor today at Walmart or a local grocery store near you. Body Armor, choose better with Body Armor. We love it. Strawberry banana, my favorite Body Armor drink. It is so delicious, and they got new look. It looks awesome. So bold new look, same great taste. Get your Body Armor today at Walmart or a local grocery store near you. Body Armor, choose better. Hank, hot seat, cool throne.
My hot seat is the course.
Oh yeah, I had this as well.
PGA Championship is this weekend. It's at Quail Hollow. And
where's Quail Hollow?
It's in Charlotte. There has been some quotes from players who are, coming at the course pretty hard. Hunter Mahan, said Quail Hollow is like a Kardashian. Modern, beautiful, and well-kept, but it lacks a soul or character.
Soulless. That's harsh.
Who's more mad, Quail Hollow, the course, or the Kardashians?
I
don't know. More of a diss on?
This kind of feels like you're provoking the course, though.
Yeah. What is the deal with what's the issue with the course?
It's a bomber's paradise. There's no real penalty for missing fairways. Like if you can hit it far, you're going to be fine. So Rory, Bryson,
Scotty,
the Bombers, Scotty, obviously always.
This course sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like the perfect course.
A bomber's paradise?
Yeah. Well, you would say that as a terrorist.
Justin Thomas gave some other insight.
I like hitting bombs.
Who's won?
You didn't get it. Max didn't get it. It's okay. You didn't get it. The Hamas picture of you at the White House. Yeah. A bomber's paradise.
Yeah. That's so long ago.
So you get
that's so long.
You get 72 virgins after you finish a round.
Yeah.
Justin Thomas also, to give some more insight, said, I feel like a place like this where it doesn't necessarily require a lot of thought or strategy off the tee. It's generally pulling out driver and just, I need to hit this as far as and as straight as possible.
Mm-hmm. So Bryson.
Yeah.
So Bryson's the play.
Bryson, Rory, yeah. That's what you would be led to believe. It's also been raining there, so it's going to be soft conditions.
Do you guys like that the PGA moved?
No.
I don't either.
No, it should be U.S. Open.
Yeah. U.S. Open should be right now. Or I guess it would be in a couple weeks, but yeah. And it is in a couple weeks. It's in June? I believe so.
Yeah.
I liked that it finished
Day.
with PGA. I liked that ending. I don't know why they did this.
I agree. So the course is on the hot seat. It's going to be getting a lot of scrutiny this weekend.
The groundskeepers, though, they're like Cam Newton. Like, okay, all right, I see what you're saying. They're going to fuck with the course a little bit over the next
They said that
days.
about this course in Philly they played this weekend, the Cricket Club. They said because it was older that, it was designed before everyone could hit bombs, so that because it's so short, there's going to be very low scores, but that didn't happen. So
I used to valet at that club.
Oh.
Just a little fun fact for everyone at home.
That is a fun fact.
I do like though the Quail Hollow. The 16 through 18 is called the Green Mile. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
Because it's like really tough, I guess. The end of the course.
Yeah.
Do you have a pick?
No.
Oh,
Brooks.
man.
Spieth.
Oh man, he is so down bad. He doesn't even like golf anymore.
I would like to see Spieth win. Brooks, obviously.
What's that? Memes.
Oh, game 5, Hank. You got game 5.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
One thing at a time.
But what if game 5 doesn't go your way? You're gonna have a full weekend of golf.
Yeah. But that's not gonna happen.
If the Celtics lose, hypothetically, game 5, how quickly do you check out on the rest of the NBA playoffs?
Immediately.
The weather's gonna be so nice.
Oh.
Yeah, I could care less who wins. Care less.
We're golfing on Thursday.
That's not true. You're gonna be so anti-Knicks.
What happens if the Celtics lose? Are you gonna golf with me on Thursday still?
We'll see. I don't know. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
This now feels mean. My cool throne is Fat Diabetes Cat.
What?
Big Cat, what was it, last show? The show before? Said you're going to do, a full
Reassessment. I'm
reassessment
reassessing.
on your health.
Okay.
And then the
Which
next
I have
show,
done.
you talked about how you eat a box of Lucky Charms every night.
That was one night.
And then yesterday, you created a task force of multiple employees at this office to locate and find the best soft serve ice cream machine so that you can buy one and install it in this office.
Mm-hmm. The cream team.
The cream team.
Yeah. It's my cream team.
So I don't know if that was like was that part of the reassessment? Like you did the reassessment, and it was like more soft serve.
I reassessed my life. There's some things that I can do better. I've already started to like. Did you know you comment about the Lucky Charms? Did you not hear about the yellow Cheerios that I eat? I eat those.
Okay, and
been eating those
in one night, 2 nights.
No, those I just eat for breakfast now. It's fucking miserable. Suck.
Also, ice cream has calcium.
Yeah. Bones, yes. I reassessed my life and I realized that a life without constant access to soft serve ice cream is not a life I want to live anymore.
So, Hank, are you anti-ice cream?
No, I just cool throwing is just Fat Diabetes Cat.
Whoa.
It sounds like
I've already made it very clear too. We're only doing toppings on Friday. We are. We're only doing toppings on Friday.
It sounds like you're anti-scream.
Do you like the cream team? Do you think I put a good? So it's Zach, Jacob, and then I've added Ben Mintz as the special advisor to getting shit for free.
Yeah, that's an elite. Yeah, you've built a great team to get us the best soft serve ice cream machine.
You know what?
Money can buy. Do it. I don't care.
Really?
Yeah.
You'll never eat it. Banned.
Fine.
Make the graphic. Henry Lockwood banned.
Forever.
Until you apologize and show real remorse, you are not allowed to have a single drop of that thing.
That's good. Keep me honest.
All right, great. But I'm saying I'm going to be watching the tapes every night because I know the minute we leave, you're going to go get your ice cream. Everyone else here,
have you thought about on an NFL
banned.
Sunday if you lose, if the Patriots lose a game, you're going to want to hit the ice cream machine immediately.
Dude, soft serve ice cream doesn't even have calories.
That's true. Soft serve does
really
have less
doesn't.
calories.
Yeah,
for sure.
Are we gonna? Are we gonna have?
Yes.
Is Ben gonna have his own flavor of minced chocolate chip?
No, I think it's just gonna be. We're gonna keep it simple: chocolate vanilla, and
twist,
swirl, twist,
yeah, twist. Gotta have the twist.
And then toppings on Fridays. Cones. There'll be a sleeve of cones.
Just go on a cruise, dude.
What?
They have soft serve machines everywhere on cruises.
I gotta work. I'm trying to make work the best.
Okay.
Hank, you need a vacation.
You're banned. You're banned.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're fucking banned.
That's fine. I don't care.
I hate to have
I don't
to
care
do
about
that to you.
anything.
I
really don't.
I think Hank's just going to plead injury to all this.
Yeah.
Like anything that he says within 24 hours, it can't be held against him in court. He's grieving.
Are you guys?
I am.
Are you guys all in?
Well,
for
no,
the
I'm not.
self-serve?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Beat
What?
New York.
So you're not grieving. You're in denial. That's
I'm
the
focused.
That's the first
I'm focused
stage.
on Game 5.
Hank, that's the first stage of grief.
I'm focused on Game 5. We'll deal with the offseason when we get there.
Okay.
All right.
You guys are all in, right?
Yeah, I'll eat ice cream.
All right, love it. Love it. Max?
I gotta put at least some sort of a limit on myself.
Okay, we could do that.
Like a governor?
Yeah.
I gotta give myself rules of when I can and cannot have ice cream.
Got it.
Maybe do like invisible
Because they
fence,
could
put a collar on you.
That's not a bad idea.
You're not allowed within 5 feet of the ice cream machine?
Unless like certain times, because I want to have some ice cream, but if I have access to it, unlimited access, I will have multiple ice creams every day.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Which
like
is-
with a cat, and you set out like one of those automatic feeders for
I
it.
should get one of those. I should get one.
Yeah. Also, we should put up a sign, do not feed this man ice cream. So that you can't ask people to get you ice cream.
Do not feed the Max.
Yeah.
Banned.
Sorry for your loss, Hank.
Thanks. We lost ice cream too. I will hear an appeal. I will hear Hank's appeal in court, knowing that he is in a very fragile state right now. Mm-hmm. But he has to at least appeal to get unbanned.
Yeah, that time will probably come.
Okay. When you see us just walking around licking a cone, having a time of our life.
The first day of the ice cream, you not getting a cone on the inaugural ice cream day is going to be.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Opening day has to have toppings.
Definitely.
Opening day.
Well, we'll
has
probably
toppings.
do opening day on a Friday.
Yeah.
You can also
okay.
just bring your own sprinkles.
You can bring your own sprinkles.
Bring your own
I'm just
condiments
saying
from home.
toppings will be Friday only, so that way we keep a little of the calories down. Yeah. The cream team is hard at work. Okay, PFT.
My hot seat.
Look at his face. That looks like a guy who's down in the dumps and just got banned from ice cream.
I can eat ice cream, just not here. That's fine.
Dude, there's going to be a soft serve machine. Literally, we might even put it in this studio.
Great.
I think what's going to happen is Hank's going to sabotage the ice cream machine.
No, I want you guys to be happy.
Okay.
No, you don't. That's not true. That's not true at all, Hank.
That is not true.
It is.
It's not true. When have you ever wished happiness?
All the time.
Yeah.
I say it all the time.
Well, then you'd let me get an
You
ice
guys
cream
never,
machine
your
and
teams
not-
never do anything, but I root for them to do it.
We were talking about teams. Why did you have to go there?
Happiness?
I want you guys to be happy.
You root for me to be better.
I want you guys to not have kidney stones.
Well, calcium. Who knows what kidney stones are
Who
made out
knows?
of?
Calcium could not have anything to do with this.
I said I hadn't changed my diet at all. I hadn't been eating more sodium, and then Mad Dog was like, "Didn't you just eat 15 days of gumbo in New Orleans?" I was like, "That's a valid point."
Yeah, I have changed other parts of my diet. I'm trying to eat less carbs, less salt, more ice cream.
I'll shoot a diamond out of my dick once a month if it means I can have ice cream every day.
Absolutely,
That's a fair trade.
I'd trade that in a heartbeat. I mean, a soft serve machine. It's like gold mine. It's a dream of mine. It's the best. I love soft serve ice cream. It's so good, and it's good for you.
Also, ice cream is just carbs.
No, it's not. It's
Yes, it
liquid,
is.
dude. That's just not true.
Sugar.
You could also
Carbs. Here's the list of carbs: bread, French fries,
Rice.
pasta.
Rice.
No, rice I don't even count as a carb.
It's
so small.
white rice.
Yeah.
So small.
I think
They're so small.
I think the solution is just put up a sign over the ice cream machine that just says frozen yogurt machine.
Yeah.
Just label it as frozen yogurt.
No fat.
No fat frozen yogurt.
Yep.
And then, but it's just ice cream inside.
Yeah. All right, PFT, your hot seat, cool Tron.
My hot seat is jockeys.
Okay.
Jockeys are on the hot seat because the jockey that won the Kentucky Derby, Junior Alvarado, he just got fined. He got slapped with a $62,000 fine. See you later, Hank.
All right, see you, Hank.
Apparently he hit the horse too many times with the racing crop during it. So he hit the horse 8 times, sovereignty, during the race. And the maximum that you're allowed to hit the horse is just 6 times. So they fined him $62,000. Normally it's just a 10% fine. Mm-hmm. And his total purse from the race was $310,000. So he should have been fined $31,000, but it's his second offense in a calendar year. So they upped it up.
Bad boy.
They doubled the fine to $62,000. Also kind of the pussification of America. We can't even hit horses anymore.
Yeah, that is. Okay.
And then my cool throne is sharks. Sharks are on the cool throne because Trey Hendrickson, the pass rusher from the Cincinnati Bengals, gave a press conference today. He's unhappy with his contract still. They promised him that they were going to do a deal. They were going to work on something. And they just didn't do that. They didn't. Apparently, the Bengals did not live up to their end of the bargain when it came to honoring a verbal commitment to rework something and get him paid. So he kind of rescinded his no trade, or he had a trade request earlier this offseason, and he kind of backed off from that because he thought that they were trying to work things through. But then apparently they went back on that, so now he's on the offensive, and he said there's provoked shark attacks and there's unprovoked shark attacks. And right now, this is a provoked shark attack that he's doing to the media.
Oh.
Where he's going after the Bengals and complaining about the way that they treat him. It sounds like he's not going to play he doesn't want to play the season.
He doesn't want to play.
He said that he doesn't want to play the season. They asked him, at this point, do you want to be a Cincinnati Bengal? He said that's a tough question. And then he talked about animosity, and he used the analogy of a provoked shark attack. So that's what he's dealing with right now.
That doesn't feel good when provoked shark attacks is used.
It feels like that might be the burning of a bridge right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess my takeaway from this is that the Bengals might be the only team that would say, yeah, well, we don't give a fuck. We're not trading you. I dare you to go the whole season without playing.
Right.
And so Hendrickson has himself in a tough position because he does have a contract. He is under contract right now.
Huh.
And that's kind of the price that you pay when you sign a 3-year deal or a 3-year extension, and then you overperform it, and then you want to get paid. Now, the Bengals are famous for asking people to take pay cuts if you don't play up to your expectation.
Right.
So the Bengals are going to have it both ways, but as the NFL goes, the teams have a lot more leverage. So I guess Trey's going to try to just sit out and see if they'll trade him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like they won't. Well, no, they'll trade him if they
get a good offer.
They would rather get the asset than all right, my hot seat is the NFL because we said this on Sunday. I'm so sick of this fucking schedule release week. It sucks. It fucking sucks. Give me the whole schedule. Stop giving me a piece of a game here and there. We found out the Eagles and the Commanders are playing on you're not on right now. The Eagles and Commanders are playing on the 20th, Saturday the 20th
of December.
Packers Bears. The Eagles and Bears are playing.
It's just Eagles schedule release week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's just give another Eagles game in the morning and then another game at night. That's how they're doing it.
Driving me insane. I fucking hate it. Just give me the whole schedule. They've completely ruined something that was kind of fun, and now it's just become... Because now I'm piecing it all together. We were at the NBA draft lottery like for 20 minutes trying to piece together what the Christmas Day games might be, and like it's just so stupid.
So it's looking like, the Eagles have a game week 10, Monday Night Football against the Packers. They are just, yes.
They're playing opening day against the Cowboys.
It's been a lot. They did the international schedule as well. The Commanders are playing against the Dolphins in Spain.
The Vikings are doing
Madrid.
The first ever back-to-back in different countries.
They're going Dublin, then London.
Yeah.
Steelers, and then the Browns back-to-back. It does suck. Like, I understand that you want to... Like the problem is it's each broadcast partner that wants to have like their moment in the sun where they get all the attention on one of their games.
But no one asked for this. We're going to watch the games anyway. Just give us the whole fucking schedule and stop with the leaks and stop with the morsels. Just give us the whole fucking schedule.
Yeah.
And also, fuck you to the people who are like, it doesn't matter. We already know the opponents. That's Max. How they go matters a lot.
It does. And
it also matters for people who are trying to make trips around this.
It also matters if you're like, I really enjoy complaining if you're like the NFL fucked us because we have to play like 2 games in a matter of 6 days.
Right.
You know, like that whole shit. Like complaining about getting bad rest when it matters the most, when your bye week is.
Yep.
It's fun to complain about that, but also you could do all this by just releasing the schedule.
Release the fucking schedule.
The entire schedule. Just
so annoying.
Just mainline it to us. But yeah, we were looking at the Christmas week games. And Big Cat and I were like, well, fuck, that means that if you do the math, we're going to be playing each other on Christmas. And then we started planning the part of my take schedule for that week.
Yeah.
With the understanding that the Commanders are probably playing the Bears on Christmas. And then all that might be wrong, too. So
because we realized that we were planning it like it was last year when it was Wednesday was Christmas. So they had to, the Saturday games had to be the Wednesday games. This year it's Thursday's Christmas. So they can absolutely use the Sunday games for Thursday games.
We also found... Because we found out the Eagles and Packers are not playing that Christmas, which means that
So it makes we were just stupid.
We were just being dumb.
But that's the NFL's fault and all this shit for making us guess. Hank, you still with us?
Nope. No, he's not. Hank has been checked out. It's okay. I get it. This is one circumstance. I'll give Hank a pass.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll give Hank a pass on this.
Absolutely.
That's bad news that he has to do.
It's really, really shitty news. The long injury thing is devastating. It's not oh, he's out for 2 or 3 weeks. It's devastating. It fucking sucks beyond belief. All right, my cool throne is, you know what? I'm going to do a reversal. My cool throne is college grads because they're graduating right now. And I see all the pictures and everyone's like, oh, it's graduation. And I'm sure there's some college grads listening right now that are freaking out. Don't freak out. I think we've given this speech before. There's a lot of pressure when you graduate college because you're like, holy shit, I got to go in the real world. So there's going to be one friend who's making more money than everyone else. You feel pressure from that. You're 22 years old. You got so much time to figure some shit out. You're probably going to fuck up. You're probably going to hate your job, or you might love your job. Whatever happens, you've got time to fail at a job, hate a job, quit a job, love a job, and then reimagine yourself a couple years later. You're still 25.
You know the guys in college that sometimes might not be doing so well, and they pretend to their parents that they're doing well?
Yeah.
And when in reality they're failing? Do you think there's anybody out there that has told their parents that they did not graduate this year when they did graduate, so they can just go back to school for one more year
definitely.
And just hang out in town and
Absolutely.
do forged report cards and be like, I'm doing a lot better this year, guys. I'm getting B's instead of D's.
Absolutely.
That would be a hell of a move.
That is, though, the one, like, because it sucks graduating college, that feeling of like, oh shit, the 4 years are over. The one saving grace is when all your friends leave together. Like, I remember going back to Madison like 2 years after I graduated, and I didn't know, I knew like a couple people, and I was like, well, this isn't what college, you know what I mean? My friends aren't here. So it doesn't feel, the idea of like leaving and having all your friends stay and still doing college, that's not reality.
And you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. Life gets better, not worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Hank?
Yep.
You know what, Hank? Unbanned.
Nice.
I feel bad for you. No, I feel bad for him. He's going through a lot right now. He just privately, in a moment in the next couple of weeks, just be like, hey, you know what? I was wrong about, the ice cream machine. It rocks. That's all I'll ask. It doesn't even have to be public, but unbanned, because you are going through some shit.
Thank you.
And Tatum injury sucks a lot.
It does.
Yeah. Okay.
Game 5.
Game 5. On the wood. Joe Mazzulla, looking you in the eyes.
I need this, Hank.
Come on.
Missoula,
Oh, no. Memes just...
Missoula loves this.
Meme just gave a very sarcastic...
I'm so jealous of memes right now.
Like this.
The fact that he gets to
Beat Hank?
Yes. So jealous.
When we say that, I want to clear something up. When we say that we as a podcast don't root for injuries, that's not entirely true, because memes definitely roots for injuries.
Oh, 100%.
No, I had my quarterback taken away 4 snaps into a season. I don't
That's
wish
why,
that on anyone.
That's why you wish for it now. You're like, I
No,
want you to
never.
suffer the way
Never.
I
suffer.
wish
fucking
injuries were turned
sucks.
off. Injuries suck. They
I just
fucking
don't
suck.
understand why they can't just... I don't understand Achilles. Like, why can't they just put it back together?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Why didn't they think
Yeah,
about
they-
that?
yeah,
If there's
I
any
don't get
doctors listening, try that.
Hank, would you like
Yes, I'd give him my Achilles. Oh,
would you like to apologize to God?
No, they're still beefing.
yeah. We'll see later tonight or tomorrow.
What? Do they have a flight you have to take?
Shut up. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see tonight. Yeah, we'll probably revisit this tonight.
You gotta make amends.
You gotta talk to the G-man.
Yeah,
All right?
probably do.
Also, cool throwing all the dead guys in baseball
Oh, yeah.
because they got unbanned.
Yeah, Pete Rose can go in the Hall of Fame. You knew they were
Rose,
going to do this.
Shoeless Joe Jackson. The rule was, I think Manfred said, if you're dead, then you're off the banned list.
Yeah.
Which is how it should be. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lifetime ban, right? Their lifetime's over. Get them off the list.
Yeah.
Barry
Also-
Bonds will be in the Hall of Fame one day after he dies.
After he dies. Yeah, he should just fake his death.
Yeah.
And show up to Cooperstown. That would rock. Also, it sucked for Oswaldo Cabrera. That injury was brutal. Yeah. So, thoughts of prayers to him. Okay. Let's get to our interviews. We got Yans talking hockey, and then we got Pablo Torre talking Jordan.
We got Yans coming up. Before we get to him, he's brought to you by Truly Hard Seltzer, Truly Unruly Lemonade especially. Truly Unruly Lemonade is delicious. The Bumpin' Blue Raz, it's the flavor of the summer. I'm declaring it right now, flavor of the summer. If you like lemonade, if you like alcohol, if you like having fun, well, reach for a Truly Unruly Lemonade. It combines the high alcohol fun of Truly Unruly with everyone's favorite, lemonade. It's lemonade, but it's let loose. 8% ABV, 100% delicious. 4 supercharged lemonade flavors. They got the Bumpin' Blue Raz, that's my favorite, the OG Original Lemonade, the Punched Up Pineapple, and the Wild Pink. It's the official hard seltzer of Pardon My Take. Level up your lemonade with Truly Unruly. Find it at a store near you or visit www.trulyhardseltzer.com. And now, here's Keith Yandle.
Okay, we now welcome on a very, very, very special guest. It is our guy, Keith Yandle. That was 3 veries.
That's better than the none I got last time.
You got none last time?
I think so.
That's not true.
I always don't know what to do with like our friends and coworkers. You know what I mean? It's a little different because you're our guy and you're our colleague. So it's like, yeah,
a very intimate guest.
Yeah, very intimate guest. It is Yans. We're gonna talk some playoff hockey. I don't know where we'll actually. You know what? Let's start with. We're taping this on Tuesday morning, so the Leafs and Panthers will play Game 5. But let's talk about that series first because you banged the drum on Sunday night. How much credit do you get for the win, dominant win by the Panthers on Sunday night?
I personally took no credit, but a lot of people have been throwing some credit my way, and I am not a guy to sit here and not take it, so I am going to take it, and I don't know how much I deserve of it, but I am taking it because, to be honest, once I kind of settled down and was watching the game, I was like, oh shit, if they lose, it's kind of on my head. So then I was all nervous during the game. And so it kind of made for a fun 60 minutes, and they played unbelievable the night that I did it. Bob had a shutout. So it was just a lot of fun to be at the game. I don't go to a ton of games anymore. Just, during the week, it's brutal going there, but it was a blast. So fun to be there, and they played unbelievable. It was the best game they've played in the playoffs, especially in this series. It was back to, the way that the P's play.
Yeah. So this series, would you say it feels like 7? Feels like we're going 7. Is that fair to say? And is it like how are you and Biz like getting on right now? Because it feels like it's gotten contentious on Spit and Chicklets.
Well, we're colleagues right now this week. Last week or a week and a half ago, we were, really, really, really good friends. And, this week we're colleagues. So I think, win or lose, I think we'll be back to where we were before. But I think it's definitely taken a little out of our friendship. The way he's been treating people, I've been gracious enough to bring on the show. Just his whole antics and everything. He's been foaming at the mouth a lot more. So hopefully we got to get him checked for rabies soon. I know he was supposed to have a doctor's appointment, but knowing him, he probably missed it. But it's just the guy's lost in the sauce, like Witt said. He is lost, and he thinks he's a part of the team. The man never played for the team. He barely played in the NHL, so I don't know how he's claiming another team. He was lucky enough to be on one. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot of headaches with him this week, but I'm looking forward to the series to be over so we can be back to being friends.
Yeah, see, I think you're right that you'll go back to being friends if the Panthers win. But if the Leafs win, I think it's even worse. If the Leafs keep winning. Like, imagine the Leafs win the Stanley Cup. You might not ever hear from Biz again. He might just move into the front office there.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I was at the game, and even a lot of Toronto fans were coming up to me, and I think a lot of them have had enough of his shit. Just a lot of people they're like, who is this guy? And then he's taking up our time he's sitting at TNT on the desk and wearing being a complete homer. So I think a lot of people have had enough of him, including myself. So I think for the betterment of the game and watching hockey, it'll be better for the Panthers to win this series, so we can kind of, just
Agreed.
Get him off talking about, the Leafs.
Agreed. Would you say that you deserve credit for that win, or would you say that what you did banging the drum was just a continuation of the momentum that the Costco guys started when they banged the drum?
That's what I was worried about. I found out, actually, as we were going to the game, my kids were like, "Oh, Big Justice and Big AJ did it the day before," and I'm like, "How do I follow that up?" You know what I mean? And then, it was tough sledding, just the mental warfare for the 30 minutes leading up, and then once the puck drops, actually during warmups, I could kind of tell, when Bob's in his rhythm, the way he was making saves in warmup, seeing everything into his glove. So I knew he was going to have a good game. So I owe him. I know he likes to give out bottles of wine after a shutout. So I'm actually going to send him a bottle of wine.
Oh, I like that.
Class
All right,
act.
so in terms of the actual play on the ice, what is it about the Panthers that? Because I would assume you're confident that they can win this series, even though they have to win at least one game in Toronto. But do you think they're overall the better team? And also, I know we're taping this before the game. Like, how much justice is Tkachuk gonna get tonight after that? That was a shitty hit by Domi, I would assume. Like, in terms of in the locker room, are you guys afterwards being like, what was that? The game was over, and he cross-checked someone into the boards.
Yeah, those are scary. Especially when a guy has his back turned and he's that close but far enough away from the boards where you could go in head first. Luckily, Barkey's okay. He's a big, strong guy. But the best part about it, I find, is, there's a couple, it's playoff hockey. There's going to be dirty hits. There's going to be dirty plays. It happened in game 1 and game 2. And just everybody in Canada, including Biz, is bitching and complaining about how dirty the Panthers are and all this. And then you don't hear the Panthers complaining about anything. They're just all about that business, all about, going to work the next day, getting ready for the next game. But I did not like the hit. I thought it was dirty. I think he got a $5,000 fine, which, it is what it is. But I know Max. I played with him a little bit in Phoenix, or maybe he was just there for training camp. But a good kid. I don't think it was malicious. I don't think he was trying to hurt anyone. He was just trying to get some momentum for next game. But definitely didn't like it. But I really like the way the Florida handled it. Like men, the winners that they are, and they know what it takes, and they'll be ready to go, Wednesday night.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Players Association, because I think that's the maximum allowable fine, right? They love to say that, $5,000, and then they're like, that is the maximum that we can do up to this point. $5,000, it does seem like a slap on the wrist.
Also, by the way, you just said Wednesday night. I'm an idiot. I didn't realize that game 5 is Wednesday night, so this actually all works.
Yeah.
This preview, we're not going to see another game.
Yeah.
So is Tkachuk going to go out there and fight right away?
I don't think he needs to. I think they're going to play their game. I think the momentum from the last 2 games at home, they got back to the way that they played. The first 2 games they played in Toronto, you got to give credit to Toronto. They played well, but the Panthers shot themselves in the foot. They had very uncharacteristic mistakes. They had 4 guys on the ice one time to score a late goal. Bob didn't play his best hockey. I'm sure he'd be the first one to tell you that. So they lost those 2 games, but they honestly basically gave them away. So I really like where they're at now. The last 2 games they've played back to Panthers hockey, where they're just getting pucks in deep. You watch them play, their best players, every single guy in the team hits guys, run guys through the wall. They're in on the forecheck. They don't make stupid plays when they're playing well. They did in the first 2 games, but they haven't the last 2. So I just love the way that they're playing, and they're a team that can carry it over and keep building momentum on that, and they're going to be scary on Wednesday.
I heard a nasty rumor. Maybe you can tell me if this is true or not. Nasty rumor that the Leafs hung out on the beach before the game, and it dehydrated them being out in the sun, that their fair Toronto complexion wasn't built for the South Florida sun. Is that true? Is there any validity to these rumors that I'm hearing?
I did see a picture floating around the internet of, one of the players took a picture with a fan, but I see nothing wrong with that. I'm a big vitamin D guy, as you can tell by my beautiful tan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
50 shades of white. But it's what you do when you're down here. Usually, I loved playing down here, and then other teams, the teams from Canada, Winnipeg, they'd come in, you'd see the backup goalie the next day on the bench just burnt red. He knew he wasn't playing. So some guys might give it an hour on the beach, and the backup's giving it about 3 hours on the beach, roasting away. But I didn't see too many sunburns, so I think that they knew what they were doing. They probably rotated, used some SPF, but no, you can't. I can't blame them from that. I give, you got to take in the cities. When you go to these cities, you only play in the league so long. You only get to go around these cities. So I see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it must be nice for the Maple Leafs too, especially when they play, in southern towns like Colorado or Miami in the United States. They don't get recognized, I would assume, going around town, right?
Yeah, it's honestly one of the best parts about playing down here, and especially now with how good they are. The fans are still respectful. They appreciate what the guys are doing on the ice, but you can go anywhere you want. You're not going to get harassed anywhere, and I think that's just such a good perk to have playing down here. And you still go to the rink. It's the same game once you get in that arena, but when you leave the rink in your golf cart and flip flops and Janko shorts, it's nice.
Yeah. All right. So other series I want to talk about: the Oilers and the Knights. It feels like the Oilers are, they're up 3-1. Tell me this, though, because Skinner had he had a shutout after Saturday night. Was I right in my assessment? I don't know hockey very well, but where Skinner was for that buzzer beater was just insane. Like, that was just bad goal. Like, you can't be that far out and you have to hug the post there. Is that a correct assessment? Because it seemed like something like, how does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it should have never got to that point. William Karlsson, he's 1-on-3, dumps the puck in. I think there's 8 seconds left at the time where he dumps it in, and it's 1 versus 3, and he ends up somehow getting to the puck and just throwing it to the middle. And luckily, Riley Smith was there. So at that point, it's kind of just panic time because everyone's you count down the mental clock in your head, and every guy's probably like, oh my god, there's 1 second, 2 seconds, and then you kind of just panicking. You don't know where to go. So I'm sure the goalie did the same thing. I'm sure if it was 10 minutes left in the game, that it would have never happened. But the panic set in, and he kind of just got himself out of place. But for how dominant Edmonton has looked, like that, the win that Vegas got there, like that's the only way that I think they have a chance of beating them right now. It's just like a miraculous win with 0.4. So it's like, you can't give Mahomes enough time on the clock. You couldn't give Tom Brady enough time on the clock. That's how the Oilers are right now. You give them enough time, they're going to find ways to score. Whether it's late in the game, clutch goals. I didn't give them the credit that they deserve coming in. I think I had them even losing first round, and they've impressed me so much just with their depth scoring. McDavid and Draisaitl are still playing amazing, but they haven't had to carry the load as much as they have in the past, which is scary for every other team because, they haven't got going as much as they really could, but because they haven't had to.
Yeah.
But they're still finding a way. They're scoring huge goals. They're getting big assists, game winners and stuff like that. But you got, Adam Henry, Corey Perry, guys just chipping in and finding ways to win.
Do you believe in Skinner? Because that was an incredible comeback to be like, hey, here's a shutout, because he has that happen on Saturday night. I even saw people tweeting like he can't play again in this series, which seemed a little knee-jerk reaction, then gets a shutout on Monday night. Do you believe in him going forward, or is that like the weak link where you're like, hey, he's got to hold up, I don't know if he can actually do it?
On paper, he's definitely the in quotations, the weak link of their team. He's an amazing goalie. He's a big guy. He's got really good instincts. But I think last game he really used his size to an advantage and wasn't trying to overplay things. And he was just in good position at all times. And I don't think he was tested as much as other goalies are. I think. Even if he plays subpar a little bit, they can still win this series. But I think it's that next series, whether it's against Dallas or Winnipeg, is when when he's getting a lot more pressure. That's when you're gonna really see what he's made of.
Yeah. Is there any chance at all that the Knights have to come back from 3-1?
Honestly, I don't think so. They look I don't know if they look a little off right now. They look like they're just not on the same page. They got some guys going well. Mark Stone, I think, is a little banged up. He left game 3 the other day, came back. He played last night, which was a good sign, but he just didn't look like himself. Jack Eichel's been amazing for them, carrying the load, but he's just, they're not getting the support that they have in past. And I don't think that they can come back in this series against Edmonton. I think Edmonton's playing at a different level right now. And, if you only got to win one more game and you got Leon and Connor, it's always going to be tough to close them out.
Got it. So can we talk about my Caps for a second? It's been a painful series to watch. Watching the Hurricanes brand of hockey, it's tough, especially when they're kicking the shit out of you. It's bad enough if you're just watching them casually, but if you're on the receiving end, it's a real tough watch to get through. My takeaway is that the Capitals, they look like they've lost a lot of the energy that they had at the end of the season and in the first round of the playoffs. For whatever reason, they seem like they're kind of coming out there flat. And we're missing a lot of opportunities early in the first periods of these games. And every time that happens, you can mark that down as being like, that's going to be the difference in this game, because Carolina is going to get out to a lead, and then we're going to have to press and try to score in the third period, and then leave things open on the back end. And their counterattack is so good that they'll just end up scoring if you end up pressing too hard. So my takeaway as just a casual is you got to score on the opportunities early. But what have you seen from the series?
Yeah, that's a good breakdown of that. I think last night was the first time that there's even been a goal in the first period for either team. So Washington still hasn't scored in the first. I think they only have one goal in the power play this series, which is, if you're a Capitals player or a fan, that's how you guys, make your bread and butter is scoring on the power play. It just hasn't been able to get it. I think Washington does a really good job of suffocating teams and not only 5-on-4 but 5-on-5. Their defensive zone, they just play really fast. They get on you. Not a lot of teams play the way that they do. I mean, this series is so boring to watch. It's basically it's like the late 90s, early 2000 New Jersey Devils kind of sit back in the rocking chair and, not let you get through the neutral zone and then just pressure the shit out of you in the defensive zone. But hey, at the end of the day, it's winning hockey. Rod Brindamore gets all of his guys to buy in. He gets, everything out of his guys. He doesn't have the one big superstar. He's got, guys that just come in there, check their ego at the door, and play hard for them. So it's definitely not a fun series to watch, especially if your team's losing to them. But if you're a Carolina fan, and at the end of the day, if you're hoisting that trophy in June, it doesn't matter how you did it. But yeah, this one, I think you're 100% right. They have to score early. If I was the Capitals and Carberry's done an unreal job there, I would just go full. I'd pull my goalie in the first period, get a 6-on-5. Why not?
Get a lead.
One in the first.
I hear you. The Canes are so dangerous on that counterattack when they muck up the neutral zone. And I think our only power play goal is in a 5-on-3 situation. It wasn't even 5-on-4. And it seems that even when we've got a power play, the Hurricanes are the ones that are getting the better scoring opportunities on the counterattack. They're having more opportunities for shorthanded goals than we are having solid opportunities on a 5-on-4. It's crazy watching. So credit to the Hurricanes. They're obviously a very good team. I don't particularly like watching them play, but if there's a way to turn it around, I think that if the Caps win Game 5 at home, it might go 7. That's my take. I got to do it one game at a time. If we win at home, then I think we're going to go into Carolina and win Game 6.
And I got to give a shout out to and put some respect on his name is Tom Wilson. Like, he's obviously, he's been around a long time. He's an unbelievable player, but I think he is a bona fide star right now. Like, he should be on that Olympic team. No one wants to play against him. He does everything for that team. Power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5, amazing leader as well. So I think you got to talk about him a little bit more, how good he is and how much he can impact a game. And also Logan Thompson, he's been amazing. Like, a couple bad ones in Game 3 I didn't love, but he played decent last night. He's getting no run support, and but they are a team. They've done it all year. They've played well. They've found ways to win games, and I think you're right. If they can go home and get a big win, get the momentum going, but it's that building in Raleigh too. It's a tough building to play in. Like, unless you like chain restaurants, they get you when you land. You go into a chain restaurant, you're staying at a decent hotel, not great, and then you go into the aways locker room's awful. So it's a mental game too. So from the minute you land there to the minute the game's over.
Yeah, it might be loser talk, so I'm not going to say it. But if I were to do loser talk, I would say it's important to remember, in perspective, this Cap season was way better than anybody ever expected. I'm not going to say that, obviously, because we're still playing.
I'll say it.
Yeah, Big Cat was about to say it.
I was going to say, like, this Cap season, watching, like, it's way, like, we've outblown the expectations.
That's loser talk, though.
Yeah,
I'm focused on winning this series. It's about winning the Stanley Cup.
But it's been an incredible season.
I'm not going to say that.
I mean, if it ended today, we'd be happy with it. As fans of the Capitals and of puck, we would like it. And yeah, I mean, obviously everything with what Ovi did this year, I think I don't know if their social media team did a really good job of just getting clips out of Carberry talking to the team. It just seems like such a cool tight knit group. I've talked to their assistant coach there. He just says, like, the guys love each other, and every coach says that, but like, he said these guys absolutely love each other. We had James Van Riemsdyk on Chicklets yesterday, and his brother's on that team. And he said he went to his nephew's first birthday, and there was like 15, 20 guys on the team over at his house for the party. So you can tell that they're a galvanized group. They love each other, and easy team to root for. I think everybody wants to see them move on here, and you got to win one more. Just win one at a time, PFT. One at a time.
Eyes on the prize. We're a gape. Our team, we lead the league in being a gape. Are you familiar with a gape?
No.
That's our team motto.
It might be the team motto of death.
We're a gape.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're wide open. Yeah.
I got a strategy question for you, Jans. Like when we get deeper in the playoffs, you'll see teams switch up lines later in a series. Like the Blackhawks, Quinville used to do like Taze and Kane on the same line when it got like to game 5. It's like you need a win. What is that? What happens in the locker room when the coach switches up the lines? In like, obviously you play defense, so he's probably not switching that up. But like, what is the vibe like, and what is like the mentality when it's like, all right, hey, we're loading up the first line, and now everyone else has to figure it out.
Yeah, it's kind of, especially in playoffs, when it happens during the regular season, it's kind of like, oh God, you're like, hey, what about us? We can play with these guys too. But when it's playoff time and no one cares about their stats, or all you care about is the wins. And, I think when you're in the locker room and you see, like, I could only imagine if I was in the Edmonton locker room as a defenseman and you see on the board before the game, McDavid, Draisaitl, and whoever, Corey Perry, you are just itching to be on the ice with them because it's going to be fun. You're going to have, snap it around the offensive zone. You're going to be high flying. So I think a lot of it too is just kind of, and especially in playoffs too, like those other 3 lines have to be like, hey, we got to do our job of just, holding the fort down a little bit, maybe pitch in with a goal or 2, and then we let these big dogs eat. And, that's the best part about playoffs is nobody cares what happens, like where you're playing, whether you're a healthy scratch or not. If your team's winning, everybody's happy. But it is, and especially as a fan watching when the big boys get put on the same line and they're playing, and it's kind of just like all out pond hockey. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, the supercharged lines always like pump me up when I see it later in playoffs. They're like, oh, they're going for it. They're just going to basically be like, this line will win this game for the team. What about in terms of like the course of the playoffs? Because you had some deep runs. Is there a point where, not that it drags on because it's playoff hockey and you're pumped, but where it's like, okay, this is where you have to, focus a little bit more because exhaustion does start to take a toll?
Yeah, it's probably right now, like halfway through the second series, is you're mentally. You're coming down from the high of being in the playoffs now. You're traveling a little more. You're not getting the sleep that you're getting every night, or that you're supposed to be getting every night because your blood's pumping after the games. You got to be up having meetings and practices and whatnot the next day. So I think right now is probably that time where your body's like, holy shit, what are we doing to myself right now? And like, you're really in the fight. And but it's also, at the end of the day, it's the best time of the year too, because you're just playing hockey. That's all you care about. That's all you're worried about. You're not dealing with shit at your kid's school or going to the grocery store to pick up stuff for your wife. It's strictly hockey, and that's why you play.
Yeah, we got to talk about Mikko Rantanen because what he's doing is absolutely insane.
Yep.
Although they did prove that they can score without him. I think he had, how many goals in a row was it that he either assisted on? It was 13. Yeah. 13 consecutive goals that he either assisted on or personally scored. That streak came to an end in their last game. But he does have 9 goals in 6 games. He's got 9 assists in the postseason. Is this the craziest one-man performance that you've seen in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the whole, everything surrounding it too, and with him being traded to Carolina and not wanting to get traded, and then being flipped to Dallas. And I love the fact that it's almost a little NBA-ish, is like most hockey guys would be like, oh yeah, it is what it is. It's the trade. But he's like, I wanted to come to Dallas so I could shove it up their ass. And yeah. And he did it, and he's got the entire hockey world like flipped on its head. He's got guys that used to play with him, answering questions of, why the hell did you trade him? Guys weighing in that used to, play with him, and even that aren't on the team anymore are weighing in on Twitter. Nazem Kadri was like, "This is why you don't trade the big boys," and it's bringing a little drama to the game, which is always fun. But he's living up to his nickname of the horse, the big horse, and he is absolutely on a mission right now. And to go into a team, I think he only played 10 or 12 regular season games with them. So it's not a ton of familiarity with your players. I know he's country mates with Rupe Hintz, so they have a little chemistry together, but it's really hard to go in and not have that much time with a team and to be playing this good, because a lot of you figure out how guys like to play, where guys like the puck, the tendencies of, where guys are going to be in the O zone, D zone. And the fact that he's figured it out this quick. And, at the end of the day, I think he's just like, hey boys, hop on my back and enjoy the ride. And he is putting on an absolute clinic right now.
The big horse. Yeah, I love that nickname, the big horse.
Yeah.
I've heard people call him the moose too. I don't know. Moose is another one. What's the difference between having a horse on your team and having a moose on your team?
Well, when you got both of them, if you have two nicknames, it's a horse and a moose. You'd rather that. I don't know. I'd probably rather a horse because I feel like they're a little faster.
Yeah.
A moose is both beautiful animals too. So, I don't know. I'd rather have a horse. What would you rather have?
I don't know.
I think a moose for hockey.
You got to have a moose.
Because a moose is like cold weather, like Canada. Like that's.
He's in Dallas though, so he might die.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a good point. I hear people say like, "Oh yeah, we got this horse," I feel like that's a fast guy, scores a lot of goals, but you got to have a moose if you want to win a cup.
I actually, if I could go off script here, I think I'd rather an ox. An ox is just built for work.
He's legit. He is. I was talking to Witt about it the other day. Like, I remember my first couple years in the league playing against Jaromir Jagr and Wayne Gretzky. I remember in the pre-scout meeting, he was like, "Hey, if he turns his back on you, like you'll never get the puck because he was just so big and so strong and used his ass so good." And that's exactly how Rantanen is. Rantanen is from when I played against Yager till when I played against Rantanen, like the two of the only guys that you're like, oh my God, if he turns his back on you, there's no way of getting the puck because they're just so big and so strong and use their edges so good. And he's a specimen. And I honestly do not know how they traded him.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. So, all right. So in that series, the other question, because that game is tonight. So we are taping before game 4. Hellebuck has been really bad on the road. It's crazy. I think they've had 10 games total in the playoffs, 34 goals he's given up. 21 of them have been on the road. So what is that? Like, is it mental? Is it what's going on? And is there a fix?
Well, I think the first series, he got a little bit too much heat, I think, because the play in front of him was awful. The games that they lost on the road against St. Louis, obviously, he didn't play great. He let in a couple, not so great goals. But I truly believe that the team was dog shit in front of him too. That they weren't playing their best. And yeah, I heard an interview with what's their captain's name? Whatever. And he admitted it. He said that they weren't playing a Lowry. And he was like, we're not playing good in front of him. We're not giving him a chance to win. And, they were taking accountability for it. But it's something you got to figure out. If you're going to go on a run and win a Stanley Cup, you got to win on the road at some point. And, right now, I think Dallas is a team I see going further. I see them winning this series. And it's strictly because of Ottinger, too. Like, he does not get rattled, whether he's home or away. He kind of plays the same game. He's not like the goals that Hellebuck's given up. He looks like, sometimes like Skinner the other night, like where he's way out of position, where goaltenders are usually never out of position. And he's just not playing the game that he played all year. And, when you win, I think will be his third Vezina. And, people just expect you to have a shutout every game. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But, I think he's also one of those guys, too. If he gets a road win, it could flip something in his brain where he just goes on a complete tear and it'll be tough to score against them.
All right, so obviously you're going to pick the Panthers to come out of the East. Do you want it to be another Chiclet? Do you want it to be a Chiclet Stanley Cup where it's you versus Witt, or you think that it's going to be the Stars?
I've said it from the beginning that it's going to be Panthers Stars, so I'm sticking with that. But this Edmonton team does scare me a little bit. Even thinking, don't want to think too far ahead, but if it was a playoffs, you have a revenge tour of, McDavid, losing last year. You can just, you see the videos of him in the locker room pissed off after, throwing stuff around the locker room. And you can almost just see that as like the start of the DVD, the championship DVD for this year. So that stuff scares me a little bit, but we're still a long ways away from that. I'll still stick with Dallas coming out of the West and Florida coming out of the East, and just another no tax city Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah. So if So if the Oilers somehow hoist the cup, are you ready to pick up the slack and come on PMT more often? Because I don't think we'll ever be able to have Whit on again.
I think Whit might move to Edmonton and just become like mayor or coach or GM. I think he'll. But the good thing about him, he's not lost in the sauce like Biz is, and he played for the team. Like he was a part of that organization. I feel like Whit's been very calm this playoffs, which it's respect. He's got 3 kids now, so maybe he's a little tired.
Perspective, but we just can't like he has been a lot more calm, but we can get him rattled up by just saying Connor McDavid hasn't won the big one, even though I love watching Connor McDavid play the game. I understand it's a team sport. I don't actually think like he's a choker, but it's fun to say that to Whit and watch him get upset.
It is fun, and I mean, anytime Whit's upset is always fun because he gets really passionate about things, and you know, he'd die for his team. He loves the Oilers. I think he's probably regretting them right now. You know, all year having to watch the late games and be up late, and early wake ups at 6 a.m. with the youngins isn't that fun, but. He's a ride or die. Even through their tough times during this season, he sticks with them, and so you got to give him respect. But I'd much rather Edmonton win than Toronto and see Biz's antics.
True, that's fair.
Yeah.
Also, just remind Whitney that I think he retired a Panther, right?
I think his last year in the NHL was the Panthers. Yeah.
Yeah. So if he goes in the Hall of Fame, then he goes in as a Panther.
Did he go to a camp with the Blues?
He did, yeah. Him and Biz.
Yeah, so they might both be Blues.
Well, what's crazy with Biz, I heard this on Chicklets the other day. He's evolved from saying we, with the Maple Leafs. Sometimes we do that we do that a lot on Part of My Take. We're like, we, us, when referring to the team. He's jumped all the way past that. Now he's saying I instead of we. He's saying like, I got to be better in the next game. Like he's taken on the entire team as him. The ego on this guy is incredible.
Did you he's not working TNT and he's going back to his house in Welland, Ontario. I need to find out where he wouldn't tell me where he's watching the game, and I need to. If I find out where he's watching the game, I will get Twitter just to tweet out where he's going to be, and I will fly any Panthers fan to where he is just to torture him the entire game. So if you guys could do me a favor and be like, "Hey, where are you watching the game?" Because he won't see. Actually, he'll never see this.
No.
So if you could do that for me,
I'll text him right now. Yeah.
Right.
And you don't even need. I don't even think you need a Panther fan. I think you need like a Biz super fan that just wants to talk his ear off.
No, but he's so he loves himself so much he would love that.
That's true.
He was seriously I got to do better. I got to be better on the power play.
Yeah.
He's never played a minute of power play his entire life, and you think him with they got 5 of the best players in the league on their power play, but it's his fault. What you should do? Have Oldie should text him and be like, "Hey, where are we watching the game?"
Yeah, good call. Good call. Yeah, use Oldie to get to him. He'll never see it coming.
Yeah.
I think this all started because Biz got a. He got like a Maple Leafs jersey, right? Or like a jacket. The team sent him a jacket. And then like a little kid that gets something from their favorite team, he now thinks that that's his team.
No. The reason why he thinks he's a part of the team, yes, because that ambassador's jacket that Brendan Shanahan gave him, but he claims that when he was put on waivers from Pittsburgh, that Toronto and Phoenix put a claim in for him. And the way that it works in hockey, if you get put on waivers, anyone can claim you. And then if multiple teams claim you, whoever came in a lower position the year before gets you. So in Phoenix, they finished lower than Toronto. So he ended up in Phoenix, which I still don't even believe that, because Toronto I can't imagine they needed a guy like him back then. They had like Jay Rosehill, they had Colton Orr, they had tough guys, and I can't imagine they wanted Biz at any point.
That's an all-time stretch too, to be like they kind of wanted me, I think.
Yeah.
So now I've dedicated my life to them.
Yeah. All right, Riaz, this has been awesome. I got one last question for you. It's a rowback question. RHOBACK.com. Promo code TAKE. 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, rowback.com, promo code TAKE. So my last question, very important question, because you obviously, hockey is your life. You love hockey. You want the league to grow. Are you worried at all for a potential Panthers, Hurricanes, Eastern Conference final and losing the Henry Lockwoods of the world? Because Hank has said he's out. He's out if it's Panthers, Hurricanes.
I mean, that's probably what it's going to be.
Yeah, he's out. So are you worried about losing the Hanks of the world?
No. I think Florida will – I think that the way that they play will kind of take away from the way that Carolina plays. They play so hard and fast. I think they'll kind of – both teams will play like each other. Both teams will play more of a Florida-style type game. I think they're just doing what they can do right now to Washington. It's a good game plan. They're suffocating them. But I think against Florida, you got to have a completely different game plan, and the game will be completely different. It'll be a lot faster, a lot more up-tempo, goal scoring. And even too, when you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's always must-watch TV. So Hank will dial you back in. Mm-hmm. And it'll be a fun series no matter what.
Did you hear Hank when we started the playoffs? He said that he didn't know the Bruins didn't make it until he looked at the playoff schedule and didn't see them there.
They were terrible, yeah.
He said he looked at the schedule. He's like, hey, where's the Bruins game?
Oh, my God.
All right, yeah, and you're the best. Everyone listen to Spit and Chicklets. They're doing awesome live shows, too, during the week. They're doing watch-alongs, so they got the best hockey content this time of year by far. All year, but especially this time of year. Thanks, Jans.
Keith Yandle was brought to you by Game Time. The NBA playoffs are here, and the only place to buy hard-to-get playoff tickets is Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their low-price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. We got a lot of big games coming up, none bigger than the Knicks at the Celtics. Hank, you're going to be at the game.
I will be at the game, yes. Don't give up the ship.
Don't give up the ship. You're going to be there on the wood?
On the wood.
Feet on wood. If somebody else wants to get into that game, what are we looking at on Game Time?
From the last time we did the show, tickets have gone down. Not sure why, but you can get in the building for as cheap as $147.
Listen, nice. you want to be a part of this story if the Celtics come back, right?
When the Celtics come back.
When the Celtics come back, you want to be on the front lines. Hank's going to be on the front lines, defending the ship. Don't give it up. What are you waiting for? Buy those tickets for the Knicks and Celtics right now. Hank will be there. Say hi to Hank at the game. Great prices, and they have the last-minute lowest price guarantee as well. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PMT. Get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PMT, get $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time. Yandle was also brought to you by our great friends over at Morgan & Morgan. Morgan, there's a reason why coffee is the first thing that people reach for in the morning. That's what I reached for this morning. Just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people just like you and I. They have over 100 offices and more than 1,000 lawyers nationwide. When hiring Morgan & Morgan, it's like hiring an army that's got your back. If you're injured by the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. When you hire the wrong law firm, you may be beat before you start. All law firms are not the same. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/PMT or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/PMT or #law, #529 from your cell. And now, here's Pablo Torre.
Okay, we now welcome on a very, very, very special guest. It is Pablo Torre. He is an investigative journalist, very good at it, and you can find him at Pablo Finds Out, which is his podcast, which you launched, a few months ago, and it's been very successful.
Yeah, it's been less than 2 years. I believe I have the credibility, to quote Hank, as a full journalismist. So it's really good to be with you guys.
Yeah, so everyone go listen. This is where the reporting on can we keep calling her Jordan? I know you stopped calling her Jordan.
I feel like you guys are empowered to do that. I miss it.
Okay.
I miss the feeling when I listen to you guys. I'm like, it always felt good to just read it the way that it's spelled. But when you interview 11 separate fucking people about someone, it's like, I should probably just call her the way that she wants to be called.
Yeah,
all right,
it could
that's
slip
fair.
back and forth if you're doing that many interviews.
Yeah, that's
you
fair.
lose track of the bit.
Yeah. So, all right. So before we start, I think journalist to journalist, because we are journalists as well, I think we have to just lay all of our cards on the table and admit any of our bias or any ulterior motives. We'll start. We're Team Jordon because Hank told us that if we ever want to get Bill Belichick on the show, we got to be Team Jordon. So we ride with our queen. Your reporting seems bad and wrong.
Witch hunt.
Witch hunt.
You have your sources. What about our sources that say that you're just jealous of their love?
Yeah. So that's our bias. Do you have any bias?
Yeah, I strongly disagree with Joshua L. Zuckerman, her former boyfriend of some 60 years sort of an age. When he calls, hold on, let me just get the review that I mostly disagreed with. And this wasn't in the episode, but when he called a Plavak Mali 2012, quote, so lovely, so perfect, so summery, so red, so strawberry, so refreshing, so lightly acidic, so watermelon, so strawberry, so lovely, so enjoy it. I felt that was a little bit, that was a little much. That's not a 5-star review.
You have to admit, though, he landed the plan on that one with the so enjoy it.
And he came back. Yeah, he came back to the strawberry.
It was strawberry. So strawberry, most of all. Yeah.
All right. So talking real here, I guess, like, from the start, the reason why your podcast is successful and I enjoy it very much is you do real journalism on sometimes trivial topics, and I would say this is probably a little bit of a trivial topic, although there is some weird, like, hey, this is the best coach of all time. What the hell's going on? So when did you start, when you were like, I'm going to go down this path? Like, I'm actually going to figure out what is going on here.
Yeah, so my show, the premise is explicitly we take stupid things seriously and also serious things stupidly. And in this case, it started when we saw the Super Bowl commercial. And for those who are familiar with Jordan's internet presence, you're like, oh my God, she's in it. She the girlfriend is in the ad. And I started making calls around why it is that she was in that Super Bowl ad, the height of American success and commercialism. And it turned out that she had appointed herself Bill Belichick's agent and was the one negotiating with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And at that point, it was like, this is a stupid thing we can take seriously. But what I underestimated is the degree to which it was also like a story about real power dynamics with the highest paid public employee in the state of North Carolina. And so really that episode, which we did in February of this year, ended up being this lighthouse where a lot of people behind the scenes were like, oh my God, someone's finally noticing what our lives have been like behind the scenes as Bill Belichick launched, I think, like a half dozen media properties simultaneously out of the same New Jersey studio where they do the NFL film stuff. And so it all was kind of weirdly coalescing in a very defined way. And that's when I said I should probably just start making every call that I can.
So we appreciate you doing that because the podcast was fantastic. I learned a lot. It was also fun to hear how you guys discussed it. One of the more explosive claims from it was the underdog commercial, that this was a pattern of Jordon inserting herself into multiple commercials now, where she said, okay, I've got an idea, maybe a better idea for this commercial, where it's Bill and her at the pool. She's trying to get his attention. You said that they might have filmed it, but they also might have just pretended to film it to satiate her and her request. Have we made any progress on that? Do we know if there's actually any film of this?
I am actively working on acquiring confirmation around whether I can get that video that may or may not exist. That's a lot of clauses to sort of protect what I don't know. Just know that this is one of the, look, I have holy grails in my life when it comes to videos. One of them was published on the show last year. It was the Knicks recruiting video for LeBron that had the last scene that James Gandolfini ever did as Tony Soprano in it. And also, Jim Dolan's list of super friends all recruiting LeBron in the secret video. We got that video. This one I am actively working on still. I can tell you, though, that when it came to how that scene unfolded, I mean, just imagine Bill Belichick showing up. He is this guy. This is, by the way, a lot of like New England fans on that set, right? So this is people who look up to Bill Belichick and they have to figure out, like, is Bill okay with what's happening? And Bill Belichick, I'm told, just like had no change in his face as his girlfriend showed up, unilaterally deciding, I'm wearing a yellow polka dot bikini now, and it's time for us to shoot a scene. And it was just like, okay, we got to make this happen somehow. And I'm tracking down the people who may actually have the answer to my question.
All right. So in terms of timeline, you were already investigating what was going on when the famous CBS interview happened. Is that right?
Yes.
So
yes.
The CBS interview happens, and that was it's crazy because it felt like Jordon was basically trying to she was trying to hide something, but it had the reverse effect where everyone was like, holy shit, what is this? And everyone started looking at it. So when that happens, are you like, oh, here we go, like this is now going to be a huge story that people want to talk about?
Yeah, I was really worried at first that I was going to be beaten on the story that I was very early on. But what ended up happening actually was that people felt like we were at a last straw kind of a moment. So a lot of the stuff with Carolina, frankly, the timeline of this, that stuff changed when it came to the administration and the higher-ups at the university because of CBS. Look, a lot of the conversation behind the scenes has always been, who's going to tell Bill? Who's going to tell Bill that this is a problem? And the CBS thing was the number one example to date of just it being forced into a public forum in which every tabloid was demanding answers. And also CBS itself was saying, hey, this statement that was released about the agreement that Jordon Hudson and Bill Belichick and CBS had, that's a lie. That's not true. And that is something that I reported as soon as it was happening. And I can confirm, yes, there was no agreement, all that stuff. But it was really the tipping point that actually unlocked a lot of sourcing on this, which was good for me as much as I feared it at first.
Yeah. Do you have the footage of the CBS interview uncut? Because I would assume there was, from everything I've read, there was more than one interruption during the course of that interview. And obviously there's been reported that it was a 30-minute walkout.
Yeah, no, I've confirmed that there's like 30 minutes of video. It's a lot of her giving hand signals, again, Spygate style, one might even say.
I love that.
Hand signals that there are people who are on set at CBS who are really irritated, actually, that they haven't released it yet, because this is, again, you guys, our instincts are the same here. Like, everyone would love to see that. But the comedy of like what that was is that this was CBS Sunday Morning.
Right.
So like they're like, we don't want to do that. They didn't want to do any of this. They handled this, even the expose around like, here is Jordon Hudson behind the scenes in the way that she didn't realize she was on camera. That was handled so classily that it just sort of indicates that they don't actually want to pick a fight about this. It's just that they were driven to the point where they couldn't do any of the other stuff that they wanted to do. Like what I was told about that day was, and I don't think I've said this elsewhere, but like Belichick shows up late because he's on the phone. It's a recruiting thing. And so there's a bit of a sort of like a mess as they show up. It's his old high school in Annapolis, Maryland. The whole thing was, that was the Navy sweaters, by the way. Like she says to people that she picks his clothes out for him, by the way. And so they have these Navy sweaters. His is full of holes. People have asked me, have you heard whether those holes are like, if that's stolen valor, like the game wornness of it, is that real? Did she take a car and run it over a bunch of times? That was asked to me, and I was like, I don't know the answer to that question. But the thing about what happened was they never got to the part where they like actually say, and we're at the high school where Bill Belichick was, and they do the walk and talk. You know the walk and talk?
Yeah.
They never got to do the walk and talk because the thing exploded because of this question that, again, as everyone now has seen, I think, the acknowledgments of the book, like one of the first people he thanks is his idea mill and creative muse, who I am told separately did in fact come up with the idea for the book. And so when they asked the question, how'd you guys meet? The idea that this happened in that way is so flabbergasting to everybody that they had no choice but to acknowledge it in the thing they put on air.
So do you have any idea why she didn't want him to answer that question? I know it's been speculated that maybe there's a reality show coming out or some show between the two of them where she's like, that's our IP, and so I want to save that. I don't want to give that away on CBS Sunday Morning.
Yeah, the two theories, the two clubhouse leaders, and we don't, look, in fairness to Jordon Hudson, right? Like I emailed her, she did not respond. I don't know her point of view on these things. All I can do is report as exhaustively as I can around this stuff. But there are two Clubhouse leading theories. One is the one that I also, I believe is quite real, is that she has this understanding of exclusivity where if she says something in one interview, she can't then sell it to a different outlet for a reality show, for instance. So another subplot of the CBS thing that I was told, by the way, that the whole thing they wanted to do at first, the original idea for it was not Annapolis, Maryland, it was North Carolina. And
that would make sense.
Of course, everybody would, that's like good press. But Jordan was the one, or at least she had a very controlling interest in saying, we can't do North Carolina because we're doing that for something else. And maybe that was going to be Hard Knocks. Maybe that was going to be the other thing. But that was not, the whole high school thing was supposed to be North Carolina. And she was instrumental in saying, we're not doing North Carolina. And so the next theory, just on top of that, and I don't think I'm realizing how much I've spent. I didn't have enough time in the episode for all of this stuff. So my memory is being jogged now. But the other thing is that she didn't want to acknowledge her actual age at the time that they met. And this was something that we pieced together because we pulled, and this is one of the creepiest things I'll ever say, we pulled Miss Maine footage from last year, and we were like, she says, Jordon Hudson, Hancock, 22. And that pageant was in March, right? So last year, March 2024, she's 22. February 2021, logically, she would be 19 years old.
Okay.
Right.
19
Which
years old.
I like, so obviously there's a big age gap. That makes some people uncomfortable. Not going to disagree with that. But 19 and 20, they are both over 18. So that's the weird part to me, why I don't understand why 19 and 20 makes a huge difference from their perspective. It's already, the age gap is already what it is. There's no,
I fully agree.
You know? Yeah.
My whole thing here is not like, man, now we've crossed the line. Frankly, like Bill Belichick's yums, I am not here to yuck any of them. Like whatever you want, dude. Like it's just not my issue. What I'm doing though is trying to figure out a consistency of like how she presents and tells the truth or not around who she is and what she's up to. And when it's coupled, all of that is coupled with this thing that I reported about how there is this staff directory basically that was passed around, the UNC wives and girlfriends of the coaches, in which she put her age as April 2000 instead of April 2001. Again, the exercise here, and this is, it's stupid to the degree to which we got into detail on this, but look at your keyboard. Look how far apart the 0 and the 1 are.
Yeah.
It's just hard to accidentally mistype your own birth date when the difference is 00 or 01. And so people are saying, combined with Instagram sleuthing, and by the way, Belichick's family is in a parallel way looking at all of this stuff even more deeply than me, you can imagine. And they're saying to themselves, hold on, there are these Instagram posts that used to have explicit like birthday details that have been edited out of posts. That's what I was told. I haven't gone through, I don't have the before and after on that. I just know that people have been noticing that she has been cleaning up what age she says she is.
Have you gone back at all through like the Manning cast, all the appearances that like Belichick made in the media from his house or from his studio? Is she like behind the scenes running the camera on that? Can we go back and say like, oh, she's in the room for all this?
What I can tell you is that when he filmed things at NFL Films, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, that big headquarters, like the only media company he's ever trusted, because he's, again, a football guy, the utmost way, in a real way. NFL Films was his thing. The president of NFL Films, by the way, that dude started as a guy who was with the 0-1 Patriots, like doing the behind-the-scenes footage. So, like, he's had a deep trust there. What I can tell you is that when it came to when he was filming stuff, those shows inside the NFL, the Underdog show, the McAfee stuff, the Peyton stuff, it was all out of this one set. And the people on those shows, dozens of people, all say that she was around all of the time. So literally, I don't think she was behind the camera, but physically, I think she might have been somewhere behind the camera. It was just all happening at the same time over last summer, that off season, and she was there always.
So what we've seen since the pod came out and since the CBS Sunday Morning thing came out is kind of the UNC brass is kind of clearing things up. Or they're issuing public statements saying that she does not work for the program. She's Bill's personal social media person, personal PR person. Doesn't have anything to do with UNC football. And then today, Belichick said that he's excited to be back in meetings. He's probably the first person who's ever said that, and that she has nothing to do with UNC football. And so, is that something that's changed in the last week?
Yes. This is my whole thing about the ban. This is like the weird nature of this story is that the CBS thing opened the floodgates, as you guys detected. And what happened since is this power struggle behind the scenes from the very top of the university telling the football program in a meeting, she can't be around anymore. We don't want her around anymore. She won't be around anymore. And that message got out around the program. And simultaneous to that has been the hiring of a PR guy who is very notably very different from Jordon Hudson, guy who used to work for the Bears, actually, guy who used to, who's like a legit, just like,
He's
normal,
a friend of mine,
normal, totally normal, like competent guy who I presume I haven't spoken to him. Brandon Faber, right?
He's very, very he's very good at his job. Yeah,
and I think one of the ways you can be good at your job is to just remember that, like, oh wait a minute, Bill Belichick loves football. And the more he talks about football and the less that he has to talk about Jordon Hudson, the better. And so everybody behind the scenes has, and this is from his family to his inner circle, right? So Matt Patricia, Josh McDaniels, Mike Lombardi, those guys who did nothing, by the way, to stop Jordon Hudson from basically running the show behind the scenes. Everybody is now finally like, oh my God, we have our opening. To finally make sure that the thing that she was, which is CC'd on every single email at Carolina by Belichick's request, that's what the FOIA records were by the New York Times and The Athletic, which they did scoop me on, and I am still irritated that I didn't get those emails. But that stuff, they're undoing that piece by piece. And Belichick saying she's off to the side, that's a personal relationship, right? That is very different from the statement after the CBS thing, in which, of course, Jordon and Bill released a statement saying, we have a personal and professional relationship. And the UNC part has always been, wait a minute, does this mean Belichick Productions or does this mean Carolina football? Because Carolina football is the place where everybody's terrified that this is undoing the whole notion of hiring Bill Belichick in the first place.
So this is at its core a very relatable story in that everyone knows a friend who maybe had a significant other who they didn't really approve of, but you can't be the guy who says, hey, I don't like your girlfriend, I don't like your boyfriend, because you know that will just drive a wedge in your friendship with them. And now that all this has come out, they finally have their opening to be like, hey, just like we've been thinking this for a while and now we can act on it.
Yes, it's the equivalent of like one day, you know, the hopefully future ex-girlfriend of your best friend, she sends a text and you're like, I think we have our way in to start the conversation that all of us have been too afraid to talk about. Like, and instead of one text, it's been a series of public interviews and behind the scenes disasters that have followed her. And again, the whole thing about why is she so bad? I want to make clear, I don't think she's like a super villain. I don't think any of that. I just think she's a deeply ambitious young person that weirdly, like, the most generous parallel I can give her is that it's as if your friend started dating like Mark Zuckerberg one day. And that guy just thought he knew how to do everything. And the unintended consequences of what he was building ended up costing a lot of people their sanity. And I think that there is there's an ambition here without a knowledge of how the industries she's trying to take over works. And that has been something that people have been repeatedly saying.
It's like Bill Belichick has become a vehicle for her ambitions, for everything that she's just like channeling everything that she thinks she knows about the world through Bill, who has a big presence already. And so now she's got a big platform with which to make these mistakes that maybe somebody just starting in the industry might make on a low-key basis.
And she's a queen.
And she's very driven and successful and well-read
and
in philosophy.
And there's a lot of people out there who are very intimidated by motivated women.
And also the whole part about asking about her age, Pablo, I think that's a little uncouth.
Yeah, that we said that. I don't know if you heard that part, but that actually is illegal. You never ask a woman's age, so jail for you.
I did feel checkmated. It is weird for me to feel checkmated on wokeness by you guys, but I do feel checkmated on that.
Well, that's us.
Yeah,
that's us. I did have a question. I asked this on the last podcast because it just occurred to me, with the timeline of everything, is there a chance that she had anything to do with Bill not getting any NFL jobs?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and so this
Good
is
question.
This is truly good question. The reason why it's relevant to me is because I have been thinking about how to confirm just the timeline of when they started dating, and so when Big Cat is asking, like, isn't this kind of like you have a friend who has this significant other that you don't like and are afraid to say so? The other parallel question I have from real life is like, when did Bill Belichick DTR? Like, when did he? How does one define the relationship with Bill Belichick? Because what I can tell you is that people started seeing Jordon Hudson in Bill Belichick's. So there are these outdoor seats he has, not in a box, but in Gillette, like out in the end zone. I think it's section 120, although not reporting that. That's what I've been told. It's section 120-ish. And in November 2021, Jordon Hudson was sitting there. And so again, but is that having DTR'd? Is that just like, a guest, a friend? Like, are they friends with any degree of whatever? Like, I don't know, but I just know that it happened very soon after, actually, they met on that plane in February 2021 in terms of her showing up around the Patriots, actually. So this was definitely during his NFL tenure in a quite noticeable way.
Did she design that stupid fucking lighthouse at Gillette? It wouldn't shock me if she was behind.
Whoa, I don't like your tone.
If she was behind that fake lighthouse.
No, but then it would be a work of art.
Well,
if she did.
if you know the motivation behind it, then you can truly understand the story behind the lighthouse. But as it stands, it's just a piece of kitsch.
Yeah.
But if we knew that she was involved, then you truly understand. You
Greatest
begin to
lighthouse
see,
ever.
You begin to see the depth of the artist's brain behind it.
He does love a nautical theme.
Okay.
Not reporting that. He does love fishermen and stuff, so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What's up? PFT pointed this out the other day on our group text, and I did see, I think the New York Post might have reported about it. What's up with the Ring camera stuff? So there was the famous Bill Belichick leaving a house, farting in a Ring camera, and then there was an article I read yesterday that was like, the family is now worried that how did this get out and who might have leaked this?
Yeah. So I think I might be the person who inspired the sort of like dominoes of aggregation that got to you guys on the family being worried about this video. So the video, I think for most people got to be a thing because of the Tom Brady roast. So the Netflix roast, Tom Brady makes a joke around how his favorite ring is actually the Ring camera video of Belichick, like shirtless, wandering around on a porch somewhere in presumably Massachusetts. The pieces then were reported, I think, by the Daily Mail or something. It's hard to keep track, but like it was identified as like this is outside of Jordon Hudson's home. It's important to realize, though, that the video first got released on the internet in 2023.
Yep.
So this was way before even I was really aware of this story or tracking it. And
we reported on it in 2023. Yeah, we broke that. Yeah.
Well, then the question I have for you guys is, logically speaking, how would one get that video?
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was driving home from work. I texted the guys. I was like, do we think that she released that video? And if so, what would her angle be? And the only angle I could think of, and what we know about Jordon, would be that maybe she was pressuring Bill to be public with the relationship.
The worries that have been expressed on the Belichick family side, I think, should be a little more specific here, because just imagine, forget about the parallel. It's like you and your friend who's like roughly your age dating some woman who is just a nightmare in some ambiguous fashion. Think about if now it's your dad and he's almost 70 and he's hanging around with some people who love being online, who are in their really early 20s. Right. And there's this video that shows up in which your dad is shirtless. Like, the first question I have is not, wow, that's how did that, I mean, really, it's not even how did that get out there? It's what other videos are there?
Right.
Right. And who has access? And so the question is like, look, is that, I don't know. So one of the, I'll confess to you a bit about how my reporting process goes, because I get this video, the Ring camera video, and I'm like, I don't have a good way of like nailing down geographically, like whose house this even is, even if it's been identified by various tabloids as Jordon Hudson's house. And I don't want to take that for fact. So what I did before I logged on here is I emailed the manager of that guy, Rainbolt, who's the GeoGuessr guy.
Yeah, he's incredible.
And so I'm hoping if Rainbolt listens to this, please respond to your manager's email. I kind of need you to solve a mystery. Like, where was this camera? Who had access to it? And again, the nightmare for me, purely hypothetically, is she's got some friends. Again, like if your friend was dating Bill Belichick and you didn't know how serious it was, do you think you would maybe get some images or videos sent to you privately of Bill Belichick? That would be the question that I think any decent son, daughter, nephew, niece would ask about their 70-year-old relative.
Yeah, and again, it does feel like a lot for somebody that's Jordan's age to deal with all this stuff. So I'm not saying it's definitely her that released it. She could have like sent that to her friend.
Totally,
she's like,
no idea.
I'm dating Bill, and they're like, no, you're not, and they're like, yeah, this is him leaving the house the other day, and then that's how it gets out. That's a possibility. I just don't think that. I don't like the idea of Bill Belichick around secret cameras. That's not the Belichick way. That's not the same guy.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Listen, and we should say all the stuff that Jordan has on her plate right now, it's actually impressive. Like, I don't know how she does it, but she does.
Yeah.
She does.
And she stays looking good, too, while she does it.
Yeah. How does this end, Pablo?
June 1st is the date that I think is the first sort of crossroads, right? And so Belichick, as we speak here, having just said, off to the side, personal relationship, she's not in any way associated with UNC football, de facto sort of confirming that the side of the power struggle that has said we need her to be in the background for PR reasons, if nothing else, that side seems to be winning. And so the June 1st date, which was always about this, by the way, it was weird before all of this, right? The buyout clause going from $10 million to 10 times less than that. Like, why would that be? Well, presumably it was because Bill wanted an out clause for the NFL. Now it seems like that is an out clause in case he wasn't really in charge in the way that he demanded to be in charge. And so him publicly going along with this now and saying, listening to everybody in his life seemingly but Jordon Hudson and saying, okay, she's not involved. That means that June 1st, if we're reading the tea leaves here, is less of a red button being pressed, sort of like this is all going to fall apart immediately. But looking ahead to the summer, right? Like, you guys know how college football works. They're getting out. They're getting out of town, right? It's the summer. Like, no one's really around the building. Like, recruiting, sure, is still going on. But the whole question is, while everybody is off minding their own devices, literal and figurative in the case of Jordon Hudson and our theories, is anything else going to happen that would demand some other bit of public crisis management? And if the answer is no, I think that week one, him being the coach there totally makes sense. But just historically speaking, in a very short amount of time, really this statement from Belichick at the ACC meetings in which he said, off to the side, personal, not involved with UNC in any way, is the first time he's really said that. And so if that is the mode, I think this is a lot calmer, but it's also the first time we've heard it. And I've seen a lot of the pendulum swinging towards a lot of people being panicked behind the scenes.
It's going to be crazy once they get to the ACC Coaches Day, where the media gets to ask questions of everybody. Like Bill Belichick sitting in front of a group of reporters, it's going to be huge, and they're going to be asking a lot of questions about her. He's not going to he might, if I was Belichick, you know what I'd do? I just open the book on Deflategate at that point. I just be like, I'm only here to talk about Deflategate.
Throw him some red meat the other direction.
Right.
Yeah.
The ideal gas law. Does anyone want to talk about the ideal gas law?
Yeah. Let's revisit all the stuff I never wanted to talk to you about. Or you can just ask about long snappers, and we'll talk for like 5 minutes about that too. So, I mean, this is a crazy story. Thank you for your journalism on it, journalistisms.
Yep.
What would you say, Hank? Journalismist? Yeah, journalismists.
Yeah, we appreciate the service that you did there.
Do you have any questions for Pablo, Hank? No, he doesn't want to be.
No, you guys done a good job.
Oh, okay. All right.
Man.
Hank's team Jordan too.
Does Max have a question? I just
Max, you had a question for Pablo?
I think you're doing a flawless job.
Flawless job. That's pretty
but
impressive.
Max, you remain team Jordan.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Team Jordan. Team.
All right, well, I have one last question for you, Pablo. It's a Roback question, rhoback.com. Promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, roback.com, promo code TAKE. In your reporting, and again, everyone go watch and listen to the episode. It was released on Friday. Pablo Finds Out. What Pablo Torre Finds Out is the official name of the podcast. Has there ever been someone from Jordan's camp that has reached out to you? Has anyone said, hey, what are you doing?
I have requested comment from North Carolina, No response. I've requested, 40 different FOIAs, which got annoying. So I apologize actually to Carolina on that. It got to be just a bit. They replied to none of them. I emailed Jordon Hudson at an address, her email that I got that I know is hers. No response. The Belichick camp, obviously, him personally, no response. If this is our long way of saying, Jordon Hudson, I am looking to maybe we could do a joint interview with her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
we'll take her side.
We'll be behind the scenes sitting in chairs being like, don't answer that question.
She's actually our boss now. You probably heard that part. Yeah. She's our boss.
Wait.
Yeah.
An interview in which we recreate the CBS Sunday morning interview, but you guys are Jordan and she is Bill.
We're her.
Yes.
That's how much we care about her.
Yeah.
I mean,
she is our boss, though, for pardon my cheesesteak.
We're deeply ambitious people, Pablo, and she is the perfect vehicle for us to channel all this energy that we have into.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're happy to do that.
Oh, my God. If she does, I promise to tell the GeoGuessr Rainbolt guy to stop looking for that house.
I mean, that's credit to you. That's an ingenious way of trying to figure out exactly where that house is located. That guy's an expert. That guy could testify.
By the way, so we think that guy is just like on the up and up, right? Because I've also been like, I don't know how this works. I just have no evidence that this is.
No, he's really good.
It would ruin me if he wasn't. Yeah.
He's really, really good at it. So
I think I got.
And there are people we have some people in this office who are very good, accomplished geoguessers. So I know that like it is a skill that you can hone in, like whether it be architecture, trees, the sun, all this stuff.
Yeah, types of grass.
Yeah.
You can study cement.
Yeah.
And figure it out that way.
Yeah, it's the indoor stuff. Sometimes he's at like a mall and he's like, "Oh, this mall is in Nairobi," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
how does
photographic memory?" I do have one more question for you. I had one issue with the reporting. You spoke with somebody that said that Jordan is, what was the exact term that you used? The worst person I've ever met, and I've worked with sociopaths.
Yeah, I want to fight that.
Something
person.
along those lines. Has this person ever met Josh McDaniels?
Good question.
It might be Josh McDaniels, actually, because he would be the only person in that circle that could say that.
He doesn't have any mirrors in his house.
Yeah.
I guess for journalismistic reasons, I cannot actually answer that question.
Okay.
My goal for how this ends is we get Jordan on and you just like pull your hair out listening to us be like, "Yes, queen."
Yeah, we just ask.
We don't ask her any questions.
All softballs. How do you do it, Jordan?
Yeah. How do you work so hard and look so glamorous? First question.
Yeah. My response to that would be to immediately go and buy a bottle of Plavak Mali Tweet.
Wait, read us that review again, the 2 strawberry.
Yeah, I mean, look, so lovely, so perfect, so summery, so red, so strawberry, so refreshing, so lightly acidic, so watermelon, so strawberry, so lovely, so enjoy it. 5 stars.
So enjoy it.
When we get back to the strawberry, that's when I really want it.
I got one more question for you. Just something, out of curiosity. I don't know if you came across any of this while you were interviewing people. Any details about their love life?
Oh man. Look, I don't have journalistic-ism speaking. I don't have those specific details. What I can tell you, though, is that when it comes to how Jordon Hudson's sort of, and again, not yucking any yums, like her point of view on the spectrum of human love, I think is probably maybe helpfully expressed by a certain museum and shop that her mom, Lee Hudson, operates as the business manager in Provincetown, Massachusetts. And I don't really know how it is that this keeps happening, but this is an episode that also contains a detail around just want to get the math right, a 28,000-year-old dildo in that museum. And I keep on having to be the guy to say, I don't have the answers to that, but I can point you in a direction where it would suggest that there's a great spectrum of possibility in terms of the answer.
Yeah.
Bill is he's a student of history.
Yeah.
Loves history.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He does. Pablo, by the way, if your next investigation is going to be how the NBA rigged the lottery for the Mavs, we are happy to talk on record. Mm-hmm. We realized afterwards we were invited. We got credentials. They showed us the room. They gave us a free buffet, and then we walked out and we realized that they just used us, if you give us credentials and free food, we'll carry water for anyone. So we were used last night as pawns, and we're dumb. We're very dumb.
What I would ask you guys is the next time you are accidentally invited backstage into what might be a journalistically explosive room, just text me and I'll be like, hey, maybe you guys should stay. I could be your ombudsman, maybe. If you wanted, because now I'm mad that we don't actually have the answer to that question.
Well, the problem was PFT and I started pulling out cash, and they're like, "All right, tour's over."
Yeah,
so
they let the outdoor cat inside, and they quickly realized we still got our claws, and they're like, "We got to get this guy out of the room." Ernst and Young guy is over here looking over their shoulders.
Yeah, if there's an inappropriate joke to be made, we're gonna make it, and then have quietly be told that, hey, this is time to go to the buffet, guys.
We will be witnesses, though. Yeah. I mean, we were there. We saw it in person. I'm sorry. I saw it in person. This is rigged for money.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
I once talked to David Falk, Michael Jordan's, of course, former super agent, about, because he was also Ewing's agent. And I asked him about the whole frozen envelope theory and the Michael Jordan retirement because of gambling stuff. And what David Falk told me was, number one, the Jordan stuff is total bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. But number two, the frozen envelope thing, he was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. And what happened last night makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
It really does. But it's still fucking bullshit. And we'll look into it too.
Yeah.
We'll let you know what we find out, because I would trust your reporting on this.
Yeah.
I think we should collaborate on an investigation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chiefsaholics in jail, so that one's kind of
I had to cross.
See what
that
else
one
have we been working on?
What do we have?
I'm sure that there's some theories that we've been working on behind the scenes.
Well, we could do. I mean, look, far be it from me to overstep my bounds as a first-time guest, but long-time AWL, if I may call myself that, which is a real unilateral decision. I'm just saying, I've always been interested in the lost footage around Barstool Van Talk, and I may or may not know a guy who may or may not have been involved in that backstage decision, and I may or may not be somebody who actually wants to see that happen. So
episode 2?
Just saying that episode 2 is another bit of a piece of footage that maybe there's something there.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it might have just been a long joke on us by John Skipper.
It
might have just been like
John Skipper didn't turn the camera on for that one.
It was it was the predecessor for Nathan For You.
It was Jackass. John Skipper's like, all right, these guys totally think they're making a show. We're gonna cancel after 1 week.
I'm waiting for the John Skipper Nathan For You episode to come out for Barstool Van Talk. These guys thought they had a show. That'd be great. All right, well, Pablo, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And now that you've been a recurring guest, you got to come back on whenever we ask. So it will happen soon.
I hesitate to imagine what my life is going to be like in general going forward. So anytime, yeah.
Appreciate it.
I also wonder if Michael Jordan, has met Jordan.
Oh boy.
The Jordan? UNC connection. Yeah, Jordan, the most ambitious crossover of all time.
Crying Jordan is a meme that is available for someone to.
Not for our queen. No way.
Not for us.
All right, thanks, Pablo.
Thank you, guys.
Pablo Torre is brought to you by Hey Dude. Hey Dude, have you tried the new Hey Dude shoes yet? They're unlike anything. The Wally stretch socks are the ultimate slip-on shoe. They're lightweight, breathable, and ridiculously comfortable. We're talking cushioned insoles that feel like little pillows under your feet. On Saturday, I think I put my Hey Dudes on first thing in the morning, took Blake outside for a walk, didn't take him off the entire day. Went out, had a beer at a bar, came back home, cooked dinner on the grill, outside. All these things with Hey Dudes. They're the most comfortable shoes that you can wear. Great for wearing around the house, and also they look great when you're wearing them out. You can find your pair at heydude.com. heydude.com.
Okay, let's wrap up. We got Guys on Chicks. Hank?
Yeah.
Guys on Chicks.
So I heard about you guys doing Scrotox, which is Botox for your balls. What's your take on this?
Hank,
I heard about guys.
Come on, can I give you?
I heard about guys.
Can I give
you guys?
Can I give you
a little bit of something?
Can I give you a note?
And would you do
feedback?
this to keep things nice and tight? My husband claims he has no idea what that is, but I'm not sure if he's lying or not to save face.
Hank, so in the interest of our listeners out there, because first and foremost we care about the listeners, can we try that with a little more energy?
Just be Hank. We've already hashed it all out.
Yeah, we're all good.
Show, we're good.
We moved on.
So I heard about guys doing Scrotox, which is Botox for your balls.
Uh-huh.
What's your take on this? And would you do this to keep things nice and tight?
I personally don't care what my scrotum looks like.
I don't either. Do girls care what scrotums look like? I feel like girls know that balls are weird.
Yeah,
Like balls are just weird.
the male body is weird. Here, breaking news.
Like guys want to see girls' boobs. I don't think girls want to see guys' balls.
Yeah, they're not like,
They're not
oh
like,
shit,
oh.
what a pair of balls you got on you.
Yeah, the female body is beautiful. It's curvy, it's artistic, it's smooth, it's wonderful to look at. The male body is just absolutely disgusting.
They don't want to see B.
No, they do not want
They
to
don't want to
see
see plain B.
A little bit of D, not a lot of B, probably not any of the A.
I just think that women would probably be cool with it if our balls were inside our bodies. If we just had internal balls, they'd be fine with that. They wouldn't like miss them.
Yeah.
Balls are meant to show other guys.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
It's
facts.
way cooler to show your boys your balls than anything else.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
And so under this, like, do not get scrotox, because if you got scrotox and showed your boys your scrotox balls, everyone would be like, dude, what the fuck are those?
Mm-hmm. Balls are for humor.
Which one? Which ball hangs lower for you guys?
My left.
My left
yeah, I
as
think
well.
it's all left.
Is it always
Yeah.
left?
I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think everyone's left ball is bigger than their right.
Is that true?
I don't know. My left definitely does.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
mine is
gonna Google
left.
it.
That's crazy. I thought it was like kind of a, everyone's different, left or right.
I think maybe if you're left-handed, does your right ball hang lower?
Maybe. In most individuals, the right testicle is slightly larger than the left. What? So we're abnormal?
Well, no, I don't think that matters about hanging lower.
Yeah, true.
I don't think it's just gravity.
Well, I would think that it's heavier.
Wait, are we all wrong?
You're looking up testicle being bigger.
Which
talking
way
about
does it
hanging.
hang? We're talking about hanging.
I will say this Scrotex looks kind of lit.
You're looking at Scrotex balls right now, Memes?
No, the definition.
Oh.
Lead to smoother, potentially larger appearing, and reduces sweat.
Reducing sweat is a good sell.
Yeah, that's good. Can I get Scrotex for like my grundle? That's where the sweat is the problem. All right, so the left hangs lower for most people. Is there anyone out there who has right? That's kind of weird.
I don't know.
That's like a unicorn.
The reason the difference.
Max
due
is
to
checking right now, by the
variations-
way. Max is literally checking. I watched that move. He's checking his balls.
The difference is the reason in the spermatic cord for most guys.
I didn't know we had a spermatic cord.
Yeah. Is that just like the thing that it hangs on? The rope?
Yeah, I don't understand any of that.
Yeah, so don't
I never understood. I always was very confused, even still am as a 40-year-old man, of like, how do you pee and piss out of the same hole? Or how do you come and piss out of the same hole?
I do find it
Is there a
amazing
valve?
though that guys are just like you know what's really
There's
gonna
two holes.
you know what could impress chicks is if my balls were less wrinkly. Like it's not gonna work.
There's a little
what?
There's a little island.
There's
in
two
the middle.
holes?
Little bridge in the middle.
There's not two holes.
There's one hole, Hank.
Do you have two holes?
Do you think there are two
was a
holes?
You have
Sorry to
two
interrupt
holes?
you,
That was a
but he
joke.
just.
I
I don't know if that was a joke.
as soon as Hank said two holes,
Yeah, I stopped.
That's the
listening
answer
to
for
what you were
girls.
saying.
That's the answer for girls.
That is true.
The girls do have two holes.
But it's part of the one larger apparatus.
But
Guys,
do
it's
you
like,
have two holes?
Do you have two
One
holes?
hole. I'll double check, but I'm pretty positive I got one hole.
Okay, it sounds like you're a two-hole guy.
you have an in-hole and an out-hole?
I got two side holes.
Yeah, it sounds like you got holes.
Like a
I
super
got to
like
cover
the
one up.
like a trumpet?
I think that's the Lil Dicky thing.
Oh, yeah.
From the show.
Yeah.
Hey, Kidney Stone boys.
Come on.
Not worried about the Celtics. Hank, double vacation max. I'm having an issue with fellow AWL who keeps ghosting me. I met this guy on Hinge a couple years ago. We went out on one date. I thought it went well, and we had bonded over our love for PMT, but I didn't hear from him again after that. Last summer, he liked me again on Hinge, but I didn't really take the bait. Then, last week, he liked me again, but this time his opener was joking about Max at the White House, so I couldn't resist. After a couple days of messaging and seemingly hit it off, he's gone ghost again. What's this guy's deal?
Dude, get it together. What is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Ghosting has like a pretty wide definition these days, I feel like. Back in the day, before Hinge, like people just kind of stopped talking sometimes. It was no big deal, but you have like one conversation with somebody and then you stop. Then it's like a big thing, like, oh, I got ghosted. You have to establish, I think, a pattern of actually talking before you can actually be ghosted, right?
Yeah, but it sounds like they're talking.
Not anymore.
But they were, and then he just went, and he's done this a couple times. I think he's just a serial ghoster. Get it together, dude. You're putting a bad name on AWLs. Like, we'll go to this wedding.
I'm gonna pass.
No. I'm shaking
Max
my
will
head.
go.
Max will go to this wedding.
I'm happy that I was involved in a pickup line. That's pretty cool.
That is
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
here's what you do: just send him the clip of this conversation right now,
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey, you just respond to her."
Shit or get off the pot. And we will send, I'll say it this way, we will send a representative of Pardon My Take to the wedding.
Hey, dude, she wants to bang.
Yeah.
She can't be any. She wants to bang so bad that she wrote into a podcast to ask for advice on how to get to bang you.
What do you think the face on these two lovebirds who are going to end up getting married and having a beautiful life together, what do you think their face is going to say when Shane walks into their wedding? If we give him a PMT pin, like, well, we sent our representative. What are you going to do?
He's got a GoPro on, like he's live streaming like a surrogate.
We couldn't send Shane because he would totally dick down the bride.
Same with Pug.
Yeah. Maybe Wiper can go. Okay.
My husband, 27, and I, 28, have been together for 7 years and have lived together for 6 of them. We have 2 kids. He works full-time, and I stay home with the kids. For as long as we've lived together, he's only ever done his laundry sporadically, and other times I am the one doing it. My question is, do all guys wait so long to do their laundry that they end up having to wear shorts as underwear or no underwear at all because they've simply worn all of their underwear but won't do their laundry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a fact.
And jeans, sweatshirts, those can be reworn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you're putting on jeans without underwear, then now we're talking emergency.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen at that age.
I've discovered that my building has a laundry room, and it's changed my life because I can just do like 5 loads of laundry at once.
That's a
that's huge.
massive win. How long did it take you
What do you mean?
to find out that your building had a laundry?
Wait, you have in unit though.
Yeah, but my dryer sucks. It takes twice as long to dry than to wash.
Have
so
you
can't really get in
Cleaned it out?
No, it's just like the time thing. Like it
Are you sure you've cleaned it out?
has nothing to do with cleanliness of dryer. It's just like
the lint trap.
Have you cleaned out the lint
Yeah, it's
trap?
the lint trap. You don't know about the lint trap.
Oh no! Hey.
we've done this before.
Have you taken out the lint
Yes.
trap? Okay.
That's not the
It's
issue.
not it.
Is there another filter?
It's when you click normal start, it says like hour 20, and the regular laundry washer takes 45 minutes. So
Well,
you
that's
can't really get in a
yeah.
cycle.
That's every.
It's usually like 45 and 60, whatever.
But that is every dryer. It does take longer to dry than to wash.
This is too long. What? It doesn't matter. I've solved the issue. Shut up.
I recently made maybe the bougiest move that I've made. Got a brand new drying and washing
You
appliance.
can't even keep your clothes, dude.
That's true. That's valid. I'm on a hot streak though. I re-upped on the wardrobe. I got a steam closet, which is like a little. It looks like a portable closet that you have in your house. And if you have something that you like to wear again, and it doesn't need a full wash, like a sweater or like sweatpants or jeans, you just hang it up in this thing for like 20 minutes, and you hit a button, and it steam cleans it, and you don't even have to like wash it or dry it. It's actually great.
That's awesome.
It's a great thing.
Hank, anything to say today about my blue shirt, not black?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, looks like I'm doing different fashion.
Yeah, you're matching.
What was
Right
that,
in your face.
What was that look for, Hank?
I just don't like you.
You know what, Hank? I feel bad for you.
No, you're just not. We get it. You're rich. Like no AWL is like, oh yeah, classic steam closet.
I feel bad for you, Hank.
They're gonna come at you like they came at me for saying that I wasn't surprised tickets were expensive in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Got
mean,
very upset.
Listen, I said it's the bougiest purchase that I think I've ever made.
By the way, I do think that there should be affordable tickets. I just don't know how you can do that in the playoffs because tickets always get crazy.
Poor section.
Poor section.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor section. And New York City is always. I was thinking about it more. I think people like to just judge New York City and be like, oh, there's no real fans there because the tickets are always so crazy. You know, where it's like, holy shit, the get-in price is $1,000 here, and they're like, there's no real fans. There's a lot of rich people in New York City.
Yeah.
That is true. It's
Yeah.
a fact.
Like the most in the country by far.
They should definitely have call it the party section.
No, it should be there should be it should be like college basketball. There should be like a student section.
Yeah.
For NBA games where they're cheaper tickets, affordable tickets. I'm all in for that.
Yep.
I just don't know how to fix the other thing.
Hank, you had more guys on chicks.
I'll just do numbers. Let's
No, let's
All
do,
right.
I want to do one more, Hank.
One more.
Come on, Hank.
Come on.
One more time.
It's just the guys hanging out together.
Hey, Hank, so sorry about being down 3-1 to Mr. Bing Bong. Anyways, my husband recently tore his ACL and has decided to pick up golf for the first time in his life. I supported this decision until it became his whole personality. He golfs every Saturday now for hours and spends weeknights at the range or watching helpful tips on YouTube. I feel like he is doing this as a way to not spend time with me. He claims it's a way for him to enjoy sport without too much intensity on his knee. What do I do?
Yeah, this guy fucked up. It's hard to pick up the golf after.
Yeah.
You got to be the golfer when you meet your wife.
Anything that you want to do that you think you might want to try to do for the rest of your life, you should start before you get married.
I feel like he's doing this as a way to not spend time with me. You're dramatic.
Yeah, no, he just loves golf. He like, if you want to put it a different way, like I don't think he's deliberately saying I don't want to spend time with my wife. I think what he is saying, and it's probably the truth, he loves golf more than you.
No, he just loves golf.
No, I mean he loves golf more than her.
What about
at this point?
What if she decided to take up golf?
I'm sure he'd love that.
Actually, it wouldn't be. Yeah, if she was decent. Yeah.
Not cramping the style?
I don't even think it matters. It's like, it's just fun to get out there.
They just really need to figure out. I wish golf courses were 12 holes. That's what they need to figure out. Because
I wish they were 24.
Okay. If a golf round was like a guaranteed 2 hours,
yeah,
it'd be great.
Yeah, it is too long. It is, because between driving out there, getting your practice swings in, playing golf, driving home, it's like 8 hours.
Yeah.
You're looking at like a full day. So
Hank sees no problem.
She might be like, yeah, he's just trying to get out of the house away from me for a full day.
Right.
What if you just learn how to play golf?
Yeah.
Like that, and then you guys could watch YouTube clips together.
Mm-hmm. Get better together. Okay, good job, Hank.
Thanks.
Way to go.
Great job.
Numbers 3.
Hank, I like you.
I'll go 6.
It's not your fault.
Knicks and
Hank.
6.
7.
It's not your fault.
Knicks and 7.
Celtics and 7.
Oh,
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
numbers.
Shut up.
You didn't do anything.
99 putt.
I have 3.
44.
Good for you, man.
I hope 3 hits so fucking bad.
Yeah, that would be so good, Hank.
I hope 7 gets it. Hank
I'll
needs to
take
win.
1.
21.
I'll take 100.
Celtics are going to win the series.
But if they don't,
I hope you're right.
61.
Love you guys.
Oh, 44 was up there.
Even you,
Is
Hank.
that you, Jack?
I even love you, Hank.